My child, stop. Do not scroll past this. This is directly for you, my child. You did not click on this by accident, and you are not hearing these words by coincidence. I have been waiting for this exact moment to speak into your heart, to confront your doubts, to steady your fears, and to remind you who you are to me. Stay with me all the way to the end. Do not rush this. Do not treat this like another message in the noise. What I am about to unfold will touch places you thought no one saw and awaken strength you forgot you had. If you walk away now, you will miss what was prepared specifically for you. Listen closely. This moment carries weight. My child, I want you to slow down with me for a moment and really take this in. You did not come across this message by coincidence. I know how your day hath been unfolding. I know what has been circling in your thoughts. I know what you were doing just before you stopped here. You may think you simply found these words while scrolling, searching, or passing time, but I guided you into this pause. I understand how easily you move from one thing to the next, how your mind rarely rests, how your responsibilities pull you in different directions. Yet here you are, reading this. That is not random. I saw the quiet opening in your heart, even if you barely noticed it yourself. You have been carrying questions you do not always speak out loud. You have been wondering about your direction, about your purpose, about whether I am still involved in the details of your life. You do not always frame those thoughts as prayers, but I hear them just the same. You need to understand something deeply. I am attentive to you in ways you cannot measure. I am not watching you from a distance with folded arms. I am close. I see the tension you carry in your shoulders. I see the way you try to appear steady even when you feel uncertain. I know how often you push aside your own needs because you think others depend on you more. When you feel overlooked, I notice. When you question whether you matter, I am already leaning toward you. You might assume that moments like this are small, insignificant pauses in an ordinary day, but sometimes the quiet interruptions are where I reach you most clearly. I did not bring you here to overwhelm you or to correct you harshly. I brought you here because I want your attention for something tender. You have been moving quickly, and I needed you still long enough to hear my voice without the noise. This is not about performance. It is not about you proving anything to me. It is about connection. You and I, right here, without distraction. That is why this moment exists. And as you sit with that thought, I want you to notice how your heart responds. There is a part of you that feels a subtle recognition, almost like relief. That feeling is not your imagination. You have been longing to know that you are seen personally, not just as one among many, not as a distant believer in a crowd, but as my child. You, with your specific history, with your particular fears, with your unspoken hopes. I know the road you have walked to get here. I know the detours that confused you and the decisions that still weigh on your mind. Nothing about your story has unfolded outside of my awareness. Even the moments when you felt spiritually distant, when you wondered if I had stepped back, I was still attentive. I never stopped caring. There were times when you assumed silence meant absence. It did not. It meant I was allowing space for growth you could not yet see. You have a tendency to minimize your own importance. You tell yourself that you are just one person trying to make it through another week. You compare your life to others and quietly decide that your struggles are not significant enough to deserve divine attention. But I do not measure you against anyone else. I know the private weight you carry. I know how deeply you feel things. I know the courage it takes for you to keep going when you are tired. When you feel like you are simply surviving, I see resilience forming. When you feel unnoticed, I am looking directly at you. You may not have planned to stop and reflect today, but I planned this meeting. I arranged this pause because I care about the direction your heart is leaning. I care about the thoughts that have been shaping your mood. I care about the subtle discouragement that has been trying to settle in your spirit. You did not arrive here by accident. You are here because I wanted to remind you that your life is not drifting aimlessly. There is intention woven into your days, even the ordinary ones. There is purpose unfolding quietly, even when you cannot trace its outline. I know that sometimes you want dramatic clarity. You want a clear sign, a strong confirmation, something undeniable. But often I speak in gentler ways. I speak through moments like this, through words that settle into your thoughts and stay with you longer than you expect. You do not have to force meaning out of this encounter. Just let it sit with you. Let yourself consider that I am more involved than you assumed. Let yourself believe that your presence here is not trivial. I am not rushing you. I am not pressuring you. I am simply drawing your attention to the fact that I am here and that you matter to me more than you realize. You may have felt invisible in certain rooms. You may have felt unheard in certain conversations. You may have even felt spiritually distant at times. Yet you are not unseen. You are not misplaced. You are not wandering without care. I guided you into this moment because I wanted to reconnect your awareness with my nearness. You are not alone in your thoughts. You are not alone in your uncertainty. I am speaking directly to you because you are my child, and I refuse to let you believe that your life is unfolding without intention. My child, come closer in your heart for a moment and let me speak gently, but clearly into the places you rarely let anyone see. You carry more than you admit. You walk through your days handling responsibilities, answering messages, solving problems, and keeping your composure. On the outside, you appear steady. People look at you and assume you are strong enough, capable enough, resilient enough. Yet inside, there are quiet conflicts you never voice. There are private pressures pressing against your thoughts when the room grows silent. I have been watching those silent battles. I have not missed the tension behind your smile or the weight behind your eyes. You may think no one notices when you swallow your frustration or when you push aside disappointment so you can keep moving. I notice. I see the discipline it takes for you to hold yourself together when you feel like you are unraveling within. You have fought battles in your mind that no one applauded. You have wrestled with doubt in the middle of the night while the rest of the world slept. You have questioned your own adequacy. You have replayed conversations and wondered if you said the wrong thing, made the wrong choice, stepped in the wrong direction. Those internal debates exhaust you more than physical labor ever could. Let me tell you something plainly. You were never meant to fight alone inside your own head. Invite me into that space. Do not keep your thoughts guarded from me. Speak to me honestly. Say what you are actually afraid of. Say what you are actually tired of. Stop editing your prayers to sound composed. I already know the unfiltered version of your heart. When you sit quietly and feel that heaviness settle in your chest, that is not weakness, that is a signal that you need support. Let me be that support. You sometimes believe that strength means silence. You think endurance requires you to carry everything quietly. But there is a difference between resilience and isolation. I am not asking you to broadcast your struggles to everyone around you. I am asking you to stop pretending with me. Lean into my presence. Let your guard lower. If your faith feels fragile, tell me. If your motivation feels thin, tell me. If you are disappointed in how life is unfolding, admit it. There is a quiet courage in honesty, and I am not threatened by your honesty. I am drawn to it. You may worry that your doubt will distance me. It will not. Bring your doubt to me. Bring your confusion to me. Bring your frustration to me. I am not fragile. I am not offended by your questions. I am steady enough to hold them with you. I have seen the way you brace yourself for the next challenge. You anticipate difficulty before it arrives. You prepare for problems that have not even appeared yet. That constant readiness has made you tired in ways you struggle to explain. You carry invisible armor, always slightly tense, always slightly alert. Lay that armor down for a moment. Breathe deeply. Let your shoulders relax. You do not need to remain on guard with me. I am not another pressure demanding more from you. I am your father who understands how heavy your responsibilities feel. You have been faithful in ways no one else could measure. You kept showing up when it would have been easier to withdraw. You kept trying when results did not appear immediately. I saw every attempt. I saw every effort. None of it was wasted. Now listen carefully. Do not dismiss this as sentimental comfort. This is instruction. Stop carrying what I never assigned to you. Release expectations that came from comparison rather than calling. Let go of the idea that you must solve every problem immediately. Invite me into your decision-making instead of running scenarios alone. You do not need to impress me with your independence. You honor me when you depend on me. You strengthen your spirit when you admit your limits. You are not failing because you feel tired. You are human, and you are growing. Let that growth happen without condemning yourself for not being further along. And as we shift gently into what comes next, I want you to notice how your silent battles have shaped you. They have softened your heart toward others. They have made you more patient than you realize. They have carved out compassion in you that could not have formed any other way. You sometimes look at your struggles as setbacks. I look at them as shaping tools. Do not rush past this understanding. Sit with it. Let it settle. I have been with you in every internal conflict, and I am still here. Keep reading, because what I am about to say next touches the fatigue you rarely confess out loud. My child, I want you to be honest with yourself right now. You are more tired than you let anyone see. Not just physically tired, although your body feels that too. I am speaking about the deeper kind of exhaustion that settles behind your eyes and sits quietly in your chest. You wake up already thinking about what needs to be done. You move from one responsibility to the next without giving yourself permission to slow down. You tell yourself that this is just a busy season, that you can push through, that rest can wait. But I see how thin your energy has become. I see how often you suppress your own need for care because you believe others depend on you more than you depend on me. You have carried expectations that were never meant to define you. Some of them came from other people. Some of them came from comparison. Some of them you placed on yourself because you wanted to prove something, perhaps even to me. Let me correct that gently. You do not need to prove your worth to me. You do not need to exhaust yourself in order to earn my approval. You are not a machine built for constant motion. You are my child. I designed you with limits on purpose. Those limits are not flaws, they are signaled. When you feel stretched, that is not failure. It is your spirit telling you to pause. Listen to that signal. Do not ignore it. I know how you think. You believe that slowing down means falling behind. You imagine opportunities disappearing if you rest too long. You worry that if you are not constantly productive, you will lose momentum. But I want you to step back and consider something deeper. What if the constant pressure you feel is not coming from me? What if the rush you live under is a rhythm you adopted from the world rather than a pace I set for you? Sit with that question. Let it challenge you. I am not driving you with a whip. I am guiding you with wisdom. When you move beyond your capacity, your clarity weakens. When you refuse rest, your joy fades. When you silence your need for recovery, your heart grows numb. I want you to do something practical. After you finish reading this, take a slow breath. Then take another. Feel how your body responds when you stop hurrying. That small act is not insignificant. It is an invitation. I am inviting you into a steadier rhythm. You have been operating on adrenaline for too long. You call it responsibility. You call it maturity. Sometimes it is simply survival mode. Survival is not the same as living. I want you living. I want your mind clear. I want your heart open. I want your strength renewed, not drained. You may resist this because you are used to carrying so much. You may even feel guilty when you consider stepping back. Let me speak firmly now. Release that guilt. Rest is not laziness. It is alignment. When you rest intentionally, you are trusting me to sustain what you cannot control. When you pause, you are acknowledging that your life does not depend solely on your effort. That acknowledgement is faith in action. There are parts of you that have been quietly breaking under constant demand. Your patience feels shorter. Your motivation fluctuates. Your emotions feel closer to the surface than usual. Those are not random changes. They are signs that you have been running too long without replenishment. I am not disappointed in you for feeling this way. I am concerned for you. A loving father does not watch his child collapse under weight and say nothing. I am telling you now because I care about your long-term strength, not just your short-term performance. And here is something else I want you to understand. Your value is not measured by how much you accomplish in a week. It is not calculated by how many people depend on you. It is not proven by how exhausted you are at the end of the day. You matter because you are mine. That truth does not fluctuate based on your productivity. When you sit quietly and do nothing measurable, I still delight in you. Let that truth challenge the pressure you live under. Let it soften the harsh standard you hold yourself to. You do not have to carry the world on your shoulders. I never asked you to. Lay down what is crushing you. Bring me the mental player. Bring me the calendar that feels overwhelming. Bring me the fears about falling behind. I can hold what you cannot. I can stabilize what feels unstable. Your exhaustion is not a sign that you are weak. It is a sign that you need support. Accept that support. Do not push it away out of pride. Do not convince yourself you can manage alone. My child, there are things you hoped would have happened by now. You had timelines in your mind. You imagined certain breakthroughs arriving earlier. You expected certain doors to open when you knocked. Instead, you encountered silence or slow movement. That delay unsettled you more than you admit. You wondered if I was withholding something because you had done something wrong. You questioned whether you misunderstood my guidance. You even considered the possibility that I had quietly stepped back from your story. I want to correct that assumption clearly and calmly. The delay was not a rejection. You see time in straight lines. You mark progress by dates and milestones. I see your development in layers. There were things you needed to grow into before stepping into what you were asking for. If I had handed you certain answers too early, you would have carried them without the stability required to sustain them. Think about that carefully. Some opportunities look like blessings from your perspective, but they demand maturity you are still building. That building takes time. That shaping takes patience. I have been working on you while you thought nothing was happening. You interpreted closed doors as denial. You saw silence as disinterest. But there is a difference between not yet and never. You merge those two in your frustration. I understand why. Waiting stretches you. It forces you to confront uncertainty. It reveals how much you want control. But the waiting season is not empty. It is active, even when you cannot see the activity. While you were growing restless, I was arranging circumstances beyond your vision. While you were questioning your direction, I was preventing intersections that would have harmed you. There were conversations that never happened because I blocked them. There were partnerships that did not form because I saw what you could not see. There were outcomes you were spared from because I value your future more than your immediate comfort. That is not punishment. That is protection. You may not celebrate protection when it looks like delay, but one day you will look back and recognize the wisdom in it. Let me ask you something directly. Would you rather move quickly into something unstable or move steadily into something secure? Your impatience sometimes chooses speed over strength. I choose strength for you, even when it tests your patience. The timing you desire is not always the timing that benefits you. Trust my pacing. Release your internal deadline. You are not falling behind. You are being positioned. I want you to stop interpreting every postponed outcome as evidence that you are lacking. That interpretation damages your confidence and distorts your faith. You are not disqualified because something has not happened yet. You are not forgotten because progress feels slow. You are not overlooked because others appear to move faster. Comparison has been whispering lies to you. Silence that voice. Right now, I want you to do something bold. Surrender your timeline to me. Not in vague language, but in a real internal decision. Say to me, I release my schedule into your hands. Mean it. Let that release travel deeper than your lips. When you let go of your timeline, you open space for peace. When you stop forcing outcomes, you allow trust to grow. The delay you resent has been shaping resilience in you. It has been strengthening patience. It has been teaching you to anchor yourself in me rather than in immediate results. Those qualities will sustain you long after the waiting season ends. If I rushed you through this stage, you would enter the next one without the internal structure required to thrive. I refuse to set you up for collapse just to satisfy your urgency. Listen closely now. You are not being ignored. You are being prepared. You are not being rejected. You are being refined. There is movement happening even when you do not feel it. There are answers forming even when you do not see them. Stay steady. Stay open. Continue walking. I am not finished with what I am building in your life. My child, I want you to come into this part slowly because this touches something tender in you. There are memories you still carry that make your chest tighten. Decisions you replay. Words you wish you could take back. Moments when you knew better and still chose differently. You have told yourself that those mistakes created distance between us. You have quietly assumed that I pulled back in disappointment. Let me speak clearly into that fear. Your mistakes did not push me away. I knew your weaknesses before you were born. I was never surprised by your humanity. You tend to exaggerate your failures in your own mind. You tell yourself that one wrong move ruined everything. You magnify your flaws until they look larger than your future. That inner voice can be sharp, almost sarcastic at times, whispering that you should have been wiser, stronger, more disciplined. You treat your past like a mountain you cannot climb over. But listen to me carefully. Your past is not a prison sentence. It is a chapter, not the conclusion. When you fell short, I did not step back. I stepped closer. When you felt ashamed, I did not fold my arms. I extended my hand. You sometimes confuse conviction with rejection. When you feel uncomfortable about something you did, you assume that discomfort means I am withdrawing. That is not how I love you. I do not shame you into growth. I guide you into it. Shame tells you to hide. I invite you to come forward. Do not hide from me when you stumble. Come toward me. Do not run from my presence because you feel unworthy. Step into it. Speak honestly. Say I failed here. Say I regret this. Then stay with me long enough to feel my response. My response is not disgust. It is direction. My response is not abandonment. It is restoration. You have been carrying guilt longer than necessary. You revisit old scenes as if replaying them will somehow fix them. It will not. What will change you is receiving forgiveness fully. That requires humility. Yes, but it also requires acceptance. I have already accounted for what you are still condemning yourself for. I have already made provision for the weakness you are still rehearsing. Stop punishing yourself for what I have already addressed. Release it. Say it out loud if you need to. I am forgiven. Not as a vague comfort, but as a settled truth. Let me challenge you gently. If you believe I am your father, then trust my character. Would a loving father abandon his child because of a mistake? Would I define you by your worst decision? You know the answer. Yet you sometimes lie as though the answer is yes. You withdraw from intimacy with me because you assume I am disappointed. That assumption is heavier than the mistake itself. Drop it. Drop the belief that you must earn your way back into closeness. You never lost your place with me. Now receive this clearly. Your errors have not erased your calling. Your missteps have not canceled your future. They have taught you humility. They have deepened your compassion. They have exposed areas that needed healing. But they have not disqualified you. When you look at your past, see growth where you once saw only failure. See resilience where you once saw weakness. See my steady presence in moments you thought were proof of separation. I want you to do something intentional. Think of one mistake that still bothers you. Bring it into this moment. Do not rush past it. Hold it in your awareness. Now place it in my hands. Picture that exchange. Feel the release. You do not have to carry it any longer. Walk forward lighter. Walk forward forgiven. Stay with me as we move deeper, because what I am about to say next connects to how you view your daily life and the details you think are too small to matter. My child, you often assume that I am only concerned with large spiritual moments, with major life decisions, with dramatic turning points. You think I step in during crisis and step back during routine. That perception has shaped how you speak to me. You bring me emergencies, but you keep the ordinary to yourself. Let me reshape that understanding. I care about the details of your life. I care about the conversation you are nervous to have tomorrow. I care about the financial pressure that keeps circling in your thoughts. I care about the small irritation that affected your mood more than you expected. Nothing in your day is too minor for my attention. You sometimes minimize your concerns before you bring them to me. You tell yourself that other people have bigger problems. You compare your struggles and decide they are not serious enough to mention. But you are not competing for my care. I am not rationing attention. When something weighs on you, it matters to me because it matters to you. When you feel anxious about a decision, I want you to invite me into that decision. When you feel overlooked at work, I want you to talk to me about it. When you are uncertain about a relationship, I want you to bring that uncertainty into prayer instead of carrying it alone. Consider how often you try to solve issues independently before seeking my guidance. You strategize. You analyze. You calculate outcomes. Only when options narrow do you turn to me fully. Reverse that pattern. Involve me at the beginning. Invite me into your planning. Say, guide my thoughts. Say, show me what I am not seeing. That invitation shifts your posture from control to trust. You do not lose responsibility when you lean on me. You gain clarity. There are subtle ways I respond that you sometimes overlook. A quiet sense of peace about a choice. A hesitation that prevents you from acting too quickly. A conversation that unexpectedly confirms what you were already considering. You call those coincidences. I call them care. I am not always loud in my guidance. I am consistent. When you learn to notice my subtle direction, your confidence grows steady instead of frantic. You matter to me in the daily, not just the dramatic. I care about your schedule. I care about your sleep. I care about how you speak to yourself. I care about the tone you use with others when you are stressed. I care about your health, your habits, your hidden thoughts. Nothing is too small to place before me. If it concerns you, bring it. If it confuses you, ask. If it excites you, share it. I delight in your involvement with me. Right now, I want you to test this truth. Think about something that has been lingering in your mind today. It might feel ordinary. Bring it to me. Speak about it honestly. Do not dress it up in formal language. Talk to me the way you would talk to someone who truly listens. That is what I am doing. Listening. Guiding. Caring. You are not navigating your life alone, not even in the details. I am attentive to the big picture, yes, but I am equally attentive to the small steps. Let that awareness settle into you. Let it calm the part of you that feels unsupported in daily pressures. You are seen in the routine. You are guided in the ordinary. And I am closer than you think, even in the smallest parts of your day. My child, there is something sitting underneath your calm surface that you rarely name out loud. It is not loud panic. It is not dramatic anxiety. It is quieter than that. It shows up as overthinking. It shows up as hesitation. It shows up as that subtle tightening in your chest when you imagine what could go wrong. You have been carrying fear quietly, almost politely, as if it were just another responsibility. I see how you scan ahead, how you try to anticipate every possible outcome, how you mentally prepare for disappointment before it even arrives. You call it being realistic. Sometimes it is simply fear wearing a responsible face. You have learned to function with that fear so well that you hardly notice how much energy it consumes. You double-check conversations in your mind. You replay decisions. You imagine scenarios where things fall apart, and you rehearse how you would survive them. That constant internal rehearsal has made you tired in ways you cannot easily explain to others. It is like carrying a small weight all day long. It may not crush you immediately, but it presses against you steadily. I do not want you living under that quiet pressure. Come closer and listen carefully. Fear was never meant to be your advisor. When fear begins whispering, you tend to believe it quickly. It tells you that you are one mistake away from failure. It tells you that stability is fragile. It tells you that if you relax, everything will slip. That voice can sound convincing because it feels protective. It pretends to guard you from pain. But look at what it is doing to you. It steals your peace before anything has even happened. It drains your joy in advance. It narrows your vision until you only see threats instead of possibilities. I want you to recognize that pattern. Notice it. Name it. Do not let it operate unchecked. Right now, I am asking you to do something practical and courageous. Interrupt the narrative fear is building in your mind. When it tells you that you will not be able to handle what is coming, answer it with truth. You have handled more than you give yourself credit for. When it insists that the future is unstable, remind yourself that I am steady. When it suggests that you are alone in what lies ahead, remember that you are not walking alone. Speak to your fear rather than silently submitting to it. I am giving you permission to challenge it. You might wonder why fear has lingered so long. Part of it comes from past experiences that hurt you. You learned to brace yourself because you did not want to be blindsided again. That instinct makes sense. I do not criticize you for it. But there is a difference between wisdom and constant suspicion. Wisdom evaluates carefully. Fear assumes the worst. You have drifted toward assumption more often than evaluation. Let me gently guide you back. Invite me into the moments when fear rises. Do not wait until you are overwhelmed. The instant you notice the tightening feeling, pause. Say my name. Breathe. Remind yourself that you are supported. You do not need to predict every outcome to be prepared. You need presence. My presence steadies you more effectively than endless mental rehearsal ever could. You are not fragile. You are not as one mistake away from collapse as fear suggests. You have endured difficulty before and you are still here. That is not luck. That is resilience I have been shaping in you over time. Trust that shaping. Trust the quiet strength forming within you. It is stronger than your anxiety. It is deeper than your doubt. I am not asking you to pretend fear does not exist. I am asking you to stop giving it authority. Let it speak if it must, but do not let it lead. Hand leadership back to me. When you feel uncertain, come to me instead of retreating into worst-case thinking. Allow me to reframe your perspective. There is more stability around you than you realize. As we move into the next truth, keep this in mind. Fear often connects to loss, and loss connects to people. Some of your quiet anxiety is tied to relationships that change in ways you did not expect. Let us step into that gently. My child, as you lay down the quiet fear you have been carrying, do not retreat into silence. Let courage move you into action. What I am building in you is not only for you. It is oil for lamps that are about to go dark in others. When you give through super thanks, when you stand as a member, when you sow through the PayPal link in this video's description, you are planting seeds that will break chains of fear in souls you may never meet. I told you, I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, and I am speaking that over you now as living truth. This is your moment to turn faith outward. The harvest is ready, and your obedience becomes bread in the wilderness for someone praying for hope tonight. As you release your gift, I release provision, protection, and peace back into your life. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Do not delay. Step out of fear, sow boldly, and act now. My child, there are names that still carry weight in your heart. When you think of certain faces, you feel a mixture of sadness, confusion, and sometimes even relief. Relationships that once felt permanent shifted unexpectedly. Some ended abruptly. Others faded slowly until you realized the closeness was gone. You have asked yourself what you did wrong. You have wondered if you could have saved what was lost. Let me speak clearly into that space. Some people had to leave. Not every departure was a punishment. Not every ending was your failure. There are connections that serve a season and then complete their purpose. When that season ends, holding on tightly only creates deeper pain. You sometimes mistake distance for rejection, but distance can also be redirection. I have seen the full picture of relationships that you only experienced in part. I know what would have happened if certain people had remained close. I know the strain, the compromise, the subtle erosion of your peace that might have followed. You felt betrayed by some departures. You felt abandoned by others. That pain was real. I do not minimize it. When someone you trusted steps away, it unsevels your sense of security. You begin to question your discernment. You replay conversations, searching for clues you might have missed. It is natural to grieve what changed. But I want you to release the assumption that every ending is evidence of your inadequacy. Sometimes a door closes because what is beyond it would have stunted your growth. There were relationships that became comfortable but limiting. There were connections that felt familiar but were quietly shaping you in ways that did not align with your future. I did not remove people casually. I allowed transitions intentionally. You may not see the wisdom yet, but you will. One day you will recognize how certain departures created room for healthier bonds, clear boundaries, deeper understanding. You also need to examine something within yourself. When someone leaves, you tend to internalize it. You interpret their choice as commentary on your worth. That interpretation harms you more than the loss itself. Your value does not fluctuate based on who stays or who goes. You are not validated by permanence. You are not diminished by distance. You are mine, regardless of relational shifts. I want you to stop chasing closure that may never come. Not every ending includes a tidy explanation. Not every person will articulate their reasons clearly. Release the need to understand every detail. Sometimes peace comes not from explanation but from acceptance. Accept that some chapters end without your control. Accept that I am capable of guiding you through that uncertainty. Open your hands. That is not just a metaphor. Picture yourself loosening your grip. Let go of the resentment. Let go of the unanswered questions. Let go of the idea that if you had been different, everything would have stayed the same. Relationships involve more than one heart. You cannot carry responsibility for both sides. There are new connections ahead that will align with who you are becoming. But you must create space for them. Clinging to what has already ended prevents you from receiving what is forming. Trust my redirection. Trust that I see the long road, not just the recent turn. You are not abandoned. You are being repositioned. Some people were companions for a stretch of your journey. That does not diminish what you shared. It simply means their role had limits. I remain constant when others change. Let that stability anchor you as we continue forward. My child, there is something you need to release right now because it has been quietly shaping how you see me. You have been living as though I am disappointed in you. Not furious. Not distant. Just quietly let down. You imagine me watching your progress with a measured sigh, as if I expected more by now. That belief has influenced how you pray, how you approach me, even how you evaluate yourself. I want you to look directly at that assumption and let me correct it. I am not disappointed in you. You measure yourself constantly. You compare your growth to where you think you should be. You hold internal reviews of your performance as a parent, as a spouse, as a professional, as a believer. You tally your discipline. You calculate your consistency. When you fall short of your own standards, you assume I see you the same way. But you are projecting your self-criticism onto me. I do not evaluate you through the harsh lens you use on yourself. I see context. I see effort. I see intention. I see the battles you fought internally before making a decision. I see the courage it took for you to keep going when you wanted to withdraw. My perspective is wider than your momentary assessment. You tend to exaggerate your shortcomings and minimize your growth. A distortion has shaped your spiritual posture. You approach me cautiously, almost apologetically, as if you are waiting for correction. Listen carefully. I do guide you. I do refine you. But guidance is not the same as disappointment. Refinement is not rejection. When I correct you, it is with precision and care, not irritation. When I point something out, it is because I want you stronger, not because I am fed up. You have grown more than you acknowledge. Look back honestly. You respond differently to stress than you used to. You recover from setbacks faster than you once did. You recognize unhealthy patterns sooner than before. Those are not small shifts. Those are signs of maturity. You might still feel imperfect, but growth does not require perfection. It requires movement. And you have been moving, even when it felt slow. There were moments when you expected me to intervene more dramatically. You thought I would change circumstances instantly. When that did not happen, you assumed I was displeased. But I was watching you develop resilience. I was allowing you to discover strength you did not know you possessed. I do not rush you through every discomfort. Sometimes I let you stretch because stretching builds stability. Right now, I want you to do something bold. Stop assuming the worst about my heart toward you. If you believe I am your father, then let that image shape your understanding. Would I invest in you only to stand back in frustration? Would I guide you for years just to grow tired of you? No. My commitment to you is not fragile. It is steady. It is deliberate. It is enduring. Release the pressure to oppress me. You do not need to perform spiritually for my approval. I am already invested in your development. When you stumble, I do not fold my arms. I steady you. When you hesitate, I do not withdraw. I wait. When you question yourself, I remain certain of your potential. Let this settle deeply. You are not under silent condemnation. You are under attentive care. Walk with me from that understanding. Let your prayers become more honest. Let your faith become less anxious. I am not evaluating you with disappointment. I am shaping you with patience. My child, you sometimes look at your current season and feel underwhelmed. It does not look dramatic. It does not feel monumental. It may even feel stagnant. You compare it to what you expected and quietly decide it is lacking. I need you to reconsider that judgment. The season you are in has purpose, even if that purpose is not immediately visible. You are in a phase that is building foundations. Foundations rarely attract applause. They are often unseen, slow, and methodical. But without them, everything above collapses. You have been developing patience in situations that test your temperament. You have been learning restraint where you once reacted quickly. You have been gaining clarity through experiences that initially confuse you. That is not stagnation. That is construction. You prefer visible progress. You like measurable milestones. You want to see doors open, opportunities expand, recognition increase. Those things may come, but they are not the only indicators of advancement. Internal shifts matter more than external applause. Your character is strengthening quietly. Your discernment is sharpening subtly. Your endurance is deepening steadily. These changes are not flashy, but they are powerful. Sometimes you look at others and think they are advancing faster. Comparison distorts perspective. You do not see their private struggles. You only see their public outcomes. Your journey is not meant to mirror theirs. I am shaping you uniquely. The pace that feels slow to you may be precisely what protects you from missteps you cannot yet see. There are lessons in this season that would not be learned in a faster one. You are discovering how to remain steady when results are not immediate. You are practicing trust without constant reassurance. You are learning to stay committed when excitement fades. These are deep strengths. They will support you long after this chapter changes. I want you to stop labeling this period as in between in a dismissive way. It is not empty space between significant events. It is significant itself. Your daily routines are forming habits. Your current challenges are shaping perspective. Your present responsibilities are teaching discipline. Do not rush past this stage mentally while waiting for something bigger. Invite me into your understanding of this season. Ask me what I am building in you right now. Do not assume nothing is happening simply because you cannot see dramatic results. Instruction can be quiet. Growth can be subtle. Progress can be internal. Stand still for a moment and look at your life without frustration. See the stability forming. See the maturity growing. See the resilience strengthening. Your season is not a holding pattern. It is preparation. And preparation is powerful. Walk through this chapter with intention instead of impatience. Stay engaging. Stay attentive. Stay open. I am not wasting your time. I am shaping your future. My child, there is a quiet fear that has been following you, and it whispers something subtle but heavy. It tells you that you are behind. It suggests that you missed your moment. It points at other people's progress and then looks back at you as if to say you should have been further by now. I want you to bring that fear into the light with me. Do not push it down. Do not pretend it is not there. Let us look at it honestly. You are not too late. You measure your life by milestones you expected to reach earlier. You remember what you thought would have happened by this age, by this season, by this stage. You created an internal timeline and now you compare your reality to it. When the two do not match, disappointment settles in. You begin to question your decisions. You wonder if you hesitated too long. You replay past crossroads and ask yourself what might have changed if you had chosen differently. The line of thinking is exhausting you. It keeps you anchored in regret rather than present in opportunity. Listen carefully. Your journey was never designed to mirror someone else's schedule. You are not part of a race with a universal clock ticking above you. I do not rush you through growth simply because others appear to move faster. Some of what you see in others is surface-level success without internal stability. You do not see the fragility behind their momentum. I am building you differently. I am layering depth beneath your progress. Depth takes time. Stability takes time. Maturity takes time. You assume that if something has not happened yet, it may never happen. That assumption creates unnecessary pressure. You tighten your grip on every opportunity, fearing that if you do not seize it immediately, you will lose it forever. That urgency has caused you stress that was never meant to be yours. There is a difference between intentional action and frantic striving. You have drifted toward striving. Let me steady you. Right now, I want you to release the phrase "I should have been further by now." Say it internally and then let it go. That phrase has been shaping your mood more than you realize. It has colored your perception of your own growth. Replace it with something grounded in truth. I am still becoming. Becoming is active. Becoming is forward. Becoming is not finished. There are opportunities ahead of you that have not expired. There are doors that remain available. You are not standing at the end of your potential. You are standing in the middle of it. Some of the delays you resented were actually preserving opportunities until you were ready to handle them wisely. If I had rushed you forward earlier, you might have stepped into situations that would have overwhelmed you. Timing is not only about arrival, it is about readiness. You may look at your current position and think it is modest compared to what you imagined. But modest does not mean meaningless. Growth does not always announce itself with applause. Sometimes it unfolds quietly, strengthening you beneath the surface. Your life is not stalled. It is unfolding. Stop comparing your chapter to someone else's highlight. Stop assuming that visibility equals value. Stop measuring yourself against a clock that I did not design for you. You are not late to what is meant for you. When the moment aligns with your readiness, you will recognize it. Until then, continue walking steadily. Lift your head. Look forward, not backward. The story I am writing with you is not constrained by your earlier expectations. It is alive. It is developing. It is not finished. My child, you have developed a habit of tightening your grip when you feel uncertain. You analyze. You strategize. You anticipate. You want to understand every angle before you take a step. That instinct is not entirely wrong. Wisdom involves thoughtful consideration. But there is a subtle shift that happens when caution turns into control. You have been carrying more control than you were meant to hold. When outcomes feel unpredictable, you try to compensate by planning every detail. You outline scenarios. You prepare contingency plans. You mentally rehearse conversations before they happen. That preparation gives you a temporary sense of stability. But beneath it, there is tension. You feel responsible for making everything work perfectly. That weight is not light. It sits on your shoulders and follows you into your sleep. You believe that if you release control, things will unravel. You worry that trust means passivity. It does not. Trust means partnership. It means you act faithfully while recognizing that you are not the sole architect of every outcome. There is freedom in that understanding. When you attempt to orchestrate every detail, you leave no room for flexibility. You become rigid. You become anxious when events do not follow your script. Let me ask you something gently. Has controlling everything truly brought you peace? Or has it kept you in a constant state of alertness? You may achieve certain results through control, but at what cost? Exhaustion. Irritability. Strain. You were not designed to sustain that level of internal pressure indefinitely. Right now, I am inviting you into something different. Loosen your grip. You do not have to drop all responsibility. You simply need to acknowledge that you are not alone in carrying it. Invite me into your plans before you finalize them. Ask for clarity instead of assuming you must generate it alone. When something shifts unexpectedly, resist the urge to panic. Pause. Breathe. Ask for perspective. Control often disguises itself as strength, but sometimes it is fear in formal clothing. It is fear trying to prevent discomfort. You cannot eliminate every risk from your life. You cannot foresee every variable. What you can do is remain grounded in trust. Trust does not eliminate uncertainty. It stabilizes you within it. Practice releasing small things first. When a plan changes, allow it to change without immediate frustration. When someone responds differently than you expected, adjust calmly instead of spiraling. Each time you release a small piece of control, you strengthen your capacity to trust. You are not responsible for controlling the entire future. You are responsible for showing up faithfully in the present. That is enough. Let me handle the pieces beyond your reach. Let me guide the elements you cannot see. You do not have to carry the world on your shoulders. You were never asked to. Release the illusion that everything depends solely on you. Walk with me instead of ahead of me. When you feel the urge to grip tighter, choose instead to breathe and remember that I am steady. My child, there are parts of you that are still tender, even if you have learned how to function around the pain. You have adapted well. You have built routines. You have learned how to smile, how to work, how to speak kindly even when something inside you still aches. But adaptation is not the same as healing. I want you to understand something deeply. I am healing what you cannot see. There are wounds in you that were formed quietly. Some came from harsh words that lingered longer than they should have. Some came from disappointment that caught you off guard. Some came from moments when you felt unseen, dismissed, or misunderstood. You told yourself to move on. You told yourself to stay strong. You buried certain memories because you believed revisiting them would make you weak. But unaddressed pain does not disappear. It settles beneath the surface and shapes how you react, how you trust, how you interpret tone and intention. I see those hidden layers. You may not even realize how certain experiences altered your responses. You hesitate in situations where you were once open. You guard your heart where you were once transparent. You overanalyze interactions because you fear being mistreated again. Those patterns are not flaws. They are signs of previous injury. I am not frustrated by them. I am attentive to them. Healing rarely happens all at once. It unfolds gradually, sometimes without dramatic moments. Right now, I want you to become aware of something subtle. There are reactions you have that feel automatic. Before you judge yourself for them, pause and ask what they are protecting. Often, your defensiveness is guarding a place that once felt exposed. Your caution is shielding a place that once felt hurt. I am working beneath those reactions, strengthening the vulnerable parts you try to hide. Invite me into your memories without fear. You do not have to relive everything at once. Simply acknowledge that some experiences still carry weight. Bring them to me gently. You might feel emotion rising when you think about certain seasons. That is not weakness, that is awareness. Allow yourself to feel what you once suppressed. I am present in that process. Healing is not loud. It is not always a dramatic release. Sometimes it is subtle shifts in perspective. Sometimes it is noticing that something which once triggered intense reaction now produces a calmer response. That quiet change is evidence of progress. You may not see it immediately, but over time you will recognize that you are responding differently. You are less reactive. You are more grounded. That is healing in motion. Do not rush this process. Do not demand instant transformation from yourself. Trust that I am steady. Trust that I am patient. Trust that I am careful with the fragile parts of you. I am not reopening wounds to cause pain. I am restoring what was damaged so that you can live lighter. Pay attention to the small signs. Notice when you choose honesty instead of avoidance. Notice when you allow someone to see a vulnerable part of you without immediate retreat. Notice when you forgive yourself for feeling sensitive. These moments matter. They are steps toward wholeness. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not permanently marked by what happened. You are becoming stronger in ways that do not require you to harden your heart. I am shaping resilience without turning you cold. Let me continue that work. Stay open. Stay willing. Healing is happening even when you cannot see it. Carry that awareness with you as we step into the next truth, because healing clears space for something essential to take root. My child, you often underestimate your influence. You move through your days assuming that your actions are ordinary, your presence unnoticed, your contribution small. But you matter more than you think. The way you speak to someone when they are discouraged. The way you listen when someone feels unheard. The way you show up consistently even when you are tired. These things carry weight beyond what you measure. You sometimes compare your impact to more visible forms of success. You look at platforms, positions, recognition. You decide that because you are not standing in a spotlight, your influence must be limited. That comparison distorts reality. Influence is not always loud. It is often quiet, steady, relational. You have touched lives in ways you will never fully track. A kind word you barely remember may have steadied someone for weeks. A moment of patience may have prevented deeper conflict. Consider how often you dismiss your own growth. You focus on what still needs improvement. You overlook the strength you already carry. You see your weaknesses more clearly than your progress. That imbalance shapes how you evaluate your worth. I want you to correct that. Look honestly at how far you have come. Look at how you respond differently than you once did. Look at how you care for others despite your own fatigue. That matters. There is also something deeper here. You matter to me beyond your impact on others. Even if your actions never received acknowledgement, you would still matter. Your existence is not justified by productivity. It would an identity. You are my child. That identity is not conditional on achievement. It is not revoked when you feel average. It is constant. Stop minimizing yourself. Stop speaking internally as if you are insignificant. Your thoughts about yourself influence how you engage with the world. When you believe you are small and valued, you shrink your voice. When you believe you are unnoticed, you withdraw your presence. I do not want you shrinking. I want you grounded in quiet confidence. Right now, I want you to reflect on one area where you have assumed you do not matter. Perhaps it is in your workplace. Perhaps it is in your family. Perhaps it is in your friendships. Challenge that assumption. Look for evidence of your presence shaping the environment around you. You may be surprised at what you see. You are not here by accident. Your personality, your perspective, your experiences, all of it contributes something unique. Do not dismiss that uniqueness. Do not reduce yourself to comparison charts. You are not replaceable in the way you fear. Carry yourself with awareness of your value. Let that awareness influence how you speak, how you decide, how you show up. You do not need arrogance. You need assurance. Assurance that you are seen. Assurance that you are purposeful. Assurance that your life has meaning beyond what is immediately visible. Let this truth settle. You matter more than you think, and I am not casual about that statement. I see you fully. I value you deeply. Walk forward from that understanding. My child, you matter more than you think, and your generosity carries more weight than you can see. When you choose to support this mission through super thanks, membership, or a PayPal gift in the description below, you become a living stream through which my word flows to thirsty hearts. I am the one who multiplies loaves and fish, and I am multiplying every seed you sow into this work. You may believe your offering is small, but I tell you, I use mustard seeds to move mountains. This is not a transaction. It is a divine partnership. I am inviting you personally, yes, you, to help carry light into places shadowed by despair. As you give, I breathe favor over your house, stability over your future, and increase over your hands. Stand in your value, act in obedience, and give now. My child, you have been craving clarity. You want a map with clean lines and marked turns. You want confirmation before commitment. You want certainty before you step. I understand that desire. Uncertainty can feel unsettling, especially when you care deeply about making wise decisions. But listen closely to me now. I am guiding you even when it feels unclear. You assume that guidance must feel dramatic. You expect it to arrive with unmistakable signs, powerful impressions, or immediate resolution. When it does not come that way, you begin to doubt whether I am speaking at all. You interpret silence as absence. But guidance is often subtle. It comes through gradual alignment rather than sudden revelation. It comes through doors that quietly remain open while others gently close. It comes through a steady sense of peace about one option and a subtle resistance about another. You are often looking for lightning when I am offering lamplight. Lightning is bright and instant, but it fades quickly. Lamplight is steady and sufficient for the next few steps. You do not need to see the entire road at once. You need enough light for where your foot will land next. Trust that I know the full path even when I reveal only a portion to you. There have been times when you hesitated because you feared making the wrong choice. But hesitation has kept you frozen longer than necessary. I am not asking you to leap recklessly. I am asking you to move faithfully. When your heart is aligned with integrity and humility, I can redirect you if needed. You are not walking on a tightrope where one misstep ruins everything. You are walking with a Father who can adjust your course gently. Stop waiting for absolute certainty before you act. You will rarely receive it. Instead, pay attention to alignment. Does this step reflect your values? Does it cultivate growth? Does it move you toward integrity? When the answer is yes, proceed with calm confidence. I will correct you if needed. You are not navigating this alone. Invite me into your confusion instead of retreating into analysis. Say, guide my thoughts. Say, help me see clearly. Then listen without panic. Guidance often unfolds in motion. When you stay still out of fear, you limit what I can reveal through experience. Adjust when necessary. Remain open. You are not abandoned in ambiguity. You are being taught discernment. Discernment grows through practice, not passivity. Trust that I am shaping your instincts, sharpening your awareness, refining your judgment. You may not always feel confident, but you are not unsupported. Let that truth anchor you, because guidance becomes clearer when you soften the harsh voice within yourself. My child, the way you speak to yourself matters more than you realize. There is a tone you use internally that you would never use with someone you love. It is sharp. It is impatient. It is unforgiving. You call it accountability. Sometimes it is simply self-criticism disguised as discipline. I need you to hear this clearly. Stop being so harsh with yourself. When you make a mistake, your internal voice escalates quickly. You magnify small errors into sweeping judgments about your character. You do not simply acknowledge missteps. You condemn yourself for them. That pattern has been shaping your confidence quietly. It has been narrowing your willingness to take risks. It has been exhausting you emotionally. Accountability is healthy. Condemnation is not. Accountability identifies an action that needs adjustment. Condemnation labels the person as flawed beyond repair. You often drift into condemnation without realizing it. You replay conversations and label yourself foolish. You revisit decisions and label yourself incapable. That language has consequences. It shapes how you show up tomorrow. I want you to begin noticing your internal dialogue. When you catch yourself speaking harshly, pause. Ask whether you would say those words to someone you deeply care about. If the answer is no, then adjust your tone. You can correct yourself without crushing yourself. You can learn without shaming. You sometimes believe that being hard on yourself ensures improvement. In reality, it often produces fear. Fear of trying again. Fear of failing publicly. Fear of confirming your worst assumptions. Growth flourishes in an environment of honesty and grace, not relentless criticism. I do not speak to you the way you speak to yourself. When I correct you, it is precise and purposeful. It is not loaded with insult. It is not designed to diminish you. Align your internal voice with mine. Let it be firm when necessary, but not cruel. Let it be honest but not demeaning. Right now, I want you to recall a recent moment where you criticized yourself harshly. Revisit it briefly. Now reframe it. Instead of labeling yourself negatively, identify the lesson. Identify the adjustment. Then release the insult. You are allowed to grow without self-destruction. You are still learning. You are still becoming. That process involves mistakes. It does not require self-hatred. Treat yourself with the same patience you offer others. Extend to yourself the grace you hope to receive. When you soften your internal voice, you create space for courage. When you replace condemnation with constructive reflection, you free yourself to try again. I am not asking you to lower your standards. I'm asking you to align your tone with truth. My child, you have been moving for so long that stillness feels unfamiliar. When you slow down, your mind keeps running. When you sit quietly, you start thinking about what you should be doing instead. Rest feels almost suspicious to you, like you are neglecting something important. I want to speak clearly into the tension. You are allowed to rest. You have attached your value to your output. Somewhere along the way, you began measuring your worth by how much you accomplish in a day. You feel productive and therefore acceptable when tasks are completed, goals are met, and responsibilities are handled efficiently. But when you pause, when you do not produce, when you simply exist without measurable progress, you start to question yourself. The pattern has trained your nervous system to equate stillness with failure. It has kept you in a quiet cycle of constant motion. Rest is not weakness. Rest is wisdom. Your body was designed with limits. Your mind requires renewal. Your spirit needs space to breathe. You cannot pour endlessly without refilling. You cannot carry pressure indefinitely without consequences. When you ignore your need for rest, your patience shortens. Your clarity dulls. Your joy thins out quietly. These are not random changes. They are signals. You sometimes confuse rest with quitting. They are not the same. Quitting abandons responsibility permanently. Rest steps back temporarily to regain strength. There is courage in acknowledging that you need to pause. There is maturity in recognizing that pushing through exhaustion does not always equal faithfulness. In fact, pushing beyond your limits repeatedly can distort your priorities and damage your health. Right now, I want you to examine how you react when you have free time. Do you immediately fill it? Do you search for something productive to justify it? Notice that impulse. It reveals how uncomfortable you are with simply being. I am not asking you to withdraw from your life. I am asking you to create rhythms that sustain you. Rest with intention. Schedule it. Redacting. When you sit quietly, let yourself be present instead of planning your next move. When you take a break, do not mentally rehearse unfinished tasks. Give your mind permission to loosen. You are not responsible for resting. You are responsible for maintaining your well-being. There is something deeper here. When you refuse rest, you subtly communicate that everything depends entirely on you. That belief creates pressure. When you rest, you acknowledge that I am active even when you are still. That is trust. That is surrender in practical form. Invite me into your rest. Let your quiet moments become connection instead of guilt. Sit with me without agenda. Walk without rushing. Breathe without counting productivity. You will discover that rest strengthens your effectiveness rather than diminishing it. You do not need to earn permission to recover. You do not need to justify your need for renewal. You are human. You are finite. And that is not a flaw. It is design. Let this truth soften your pace. Let it calm the urgency you carry. Let it reframe how you see your own limitations. You are allowed to rest. My child, when you think about the future, there is a subtle tension that rises within you. You imagine how easily things could go wrong. You picture plans unraveling. You anticipate obstacles before they appear. You brace yourself for disappointment as if preparing emotionally will soften the impact. That posture has shaped how you approach tomorrow. I need you to hear this clearly. The future is not as fragile as you fear. You have been treating your future like delicate glass, as if one misstep could shatter everything permanently. That belief creates constant vigilance. It keeps you on edge. It convinces you that one wrong decision will undo years of effort. That assumption exaggerates your power and underestimates my guidance. Your life is not balanced on a single fragile thread. There have been times when things did fall apart unexpectedly. Those experiences train you to expect instability. You learn that outcomes can shift quickly. You decided that preparing for the worst would protect you from shock. But constant anticipation of collapse does not prevent pain. It only steals present peace. You are not navigating a chaotic universe without structure. There is order beneath what feels uncertain. There is direction beyond what you can currently see. Your future is not a random sequence of accidents waiting to happen. It is unfolding within my awareness. Right now, I want you to challenge the narrative that everything could collapse at any moment. Yes, life contains unpredictability. Yes, change is inevitable. But unpredictability does not equal doom. Change does not equal destruction. You have survived transitions before. You have adapted to shifts that once felt overwhelming. That resilience is not accidental. Stop assuming that your future depends entirely on perfect decisions. You will make choices. Some will be wise. Some will require adjustment. That is part of growth. But your story is not destroyed by imperfection. I am capable of redirecting. I am capable of restoring. I am capable of weaving mistakes into maturity. When you feel anxiety about what lies ahead, bring it to me directly. Do not let it swirl unchecked in your mind. Speak it. Name the fear. Then pause. Allow me to steady you. You do not need to rehearse worst-case scenarios to be prepared. You need grounding. Your future is not a brittle structure waiting to crack. It is more resilient than you think. It has room for learning. It has space for correction. It has capacity for unexpected blessings. Lift your eyes beyond fear-based projections. Imagine possibility instead of disaster. Consider growth instead of collapse. Let your imagination serve hope rather than dread. Walk toward tomorrow with steadiness rather than suspicion. You are not walking into chaos alone. You are moving forward with guidance. The future is not fragile. It is for me. My child, you sometimes look at your life as though the most important parts have already passed. You glance backward more than you realize. You replay former seasons and quietly conclude that your strongest chapters are behind you. I need you to pause and reconsider that thought with me. I am still writing your story. You are not standing in an epilogue. You are not fading into footnotes. You are in the middle of an unfolding narrative that has not reached its crescendo. You measure your story by visible milestones. You think in terms of achievements, recognition, moments that feel dramatic. When those moments are not currently happening, you assume the plot has slowed or settled. But you are confusing silence with stagnation. Some of the most meaningful shifts in your life occur quietly, beneath the surface, where no audience applauds and no spotlight shines. That does not make them minor. That makes them foundational. You cannot see the full manuscript the way I can. You are reading page by page, day by day. I see the arc. I see how earlier chapters prepared you for this one. I see how present struggles are setting up future strength. When something seems random to you, it is often intentional within a broader design. You might label a season as ordinary, but I am layering meaning into it. Let me challenge you gently. Stop narrating your life as though it is already settled. Stop speaking about your future as though it is limited. Your words shape your expectations. When you say, "This is just how things are," you close yourself to growth. When you say, "Nothing significant is ahead," you dull your own anticipation. I am not finished with you. There are conversations you have not yet had that will change direction. There are opportunities that have not yet appeared. There are internal realizations that will shift how you see yourself. You are still becoming. Do not shrink your imagination about what is possible. That does not mean you must expect grand spectacle. It means you remain open. Think about how far you have come already. There were seasons when you doubted you would make it through. There were nights when you felt stuck in a chapter that seemed endless. Yet you moved forward. That forward movement continues. The story did not end in those difficult pages. It evolved. I want you to engage your life actively rather than passively. Do not drift through your days assuming the most meaningful moments are behind you. Or dissipate. Notice. Respond. Your decisions still matter. Your growth still matters. Your faith still matters. Release the idea that you are past your prime in any sense that diminishes your potential. Your impact is not confined to youth or novelty. Depth increases over time. Wisdom sharpens with experience. Compassion strengthens through trial. You are not less relevant now than before. You are differently equipped. Lift your perspective. See your current season as part of a larger arc rather than an isolated scene. When frustration tempts you to define your life too narrowly, remind yourself that the author is still at work. You are not an abandoned draft. You are an active manuscript. Stay engaged. Stay hopeful. Stay open. I am still writing your story. My child, beneath all the growth, all the lessons, all the direction, there is something simpler and more foundational that you need to feel, not just understand. You are deeply loved. Not occasionally. Not conditionally. Not based on your performance. You are loved in a way that does not fluctuate with your mood or your success. You sometimes approach me as though you are negotiating acceptance. You bring your best behavior. You try to maintain discipline. When you succeed, you feel closer. When you fail, you feel distant. That pattern has trained you to believe love must be maintained through effort. My love for you does not operate on that system. When you wake up unsure of yourself, you are still loved. When you accomplish something impressive, you are still loved. When you make a mistake, you are still loved. The steadiness of that love is not dependent on your consistency. It is rooted in my character. You might think this sounds familiar, something you have heard before. But familiarity does not mean you have absorbed it fully. Examine how you react when you disappoint yourself. Examine how quickly you withdraw when you feel unworthy. Those reactions reveal that you still question the stability of my love. I want you to sit with this truth without rushing past it. You are wanted. You are valued. You are not tolerated. There is warmth in my regard for you. There is intention in my care. There is delight in your presence. When you pray, do not imagine me distant. When you reflect, do not imagine me unimpressed. When you struggle, do not imagine me impatient. Approach me with confidence rooted in relationship, not performance. Speak openly. Come honestly. Remain present. Your identity is anchored in love before it is expressed through action. That order matters. When you know you are loved, you act from security rather than fear. When you doubt you are loved, you strive to earn what has already been given. Right now, allow this truth to settle in your body. Breathe slowly. Let your shoulders drop. You do not need to prove anything in this moment. You are already embraced. You are already known. You are already accepted. Carry this awareness into your relationships. Let it soften how you see yourself. Let it quiet the anxious voice that questions your worth. You are not an afterthought. You are not a burden. You are deeply loved. My child, slow down right now. Do not rush through this part. Let your breathing settle. Let your shoulders ease. This is not about yesterday or tomorrow. This is about this exact moment. I am with you in this exact moment. Not in theory. Not in distant memory. Not in some future promise. I am here. You have a tendency to think of my presence as something abstract, something symbolic. You imagine me involved in major events but distant from ordinary minutes like this one. But I am closer than your next breath. I am aware of the room you are sitting in. I know the light around you. I know the temperature on your skin. I know the thoughts passing through your mind even as you read these words. You are not reading alone. You are not reflecting alone. You are not processing these truths in isolation. I am present. You often imagine that you must reach a certain spiritual state to access me. You think you must pray a specific way, feel a certain intensity, demonstrate consistent discipline. But my nearness is not activated by your performance. It is constant. Even when you feel distracted. Even when you feel numb. Even when your faith feels thin. I do not fluctuate with your emotional state. Right now, I want you to test this awareness. Close your eyes for a brief moment if you can. Take a steady breath. Notice the stillness. Notice the space between thoughts. In that space, recognize that I am not distant. You do not have to manufacture a sensation to confirm my presence. Simply acknowledge it. There were times when you felt alone in crowded rooms. There were moments when you lay awake at night feeling isolated in your own thoughts. I was there. You may not have felt a dramatic comfort, but my presence did not withdraw. You sometimes equate presence with emotional intensity. Presence can also be quiet stability. When you step into your next task today, I will be there. When you enter your next conversation, I will be attentive. When you face uncertainty again, I will not step back. This is not poetic reassurance. It is reality. You do not need to wait for a crisis to seek me. You do not need to reserve our connection for emergencies. Invite me into small moments. Invite me into decisions that seem minor. Invite me into your frustrations and your joys. I am not distracted by other things. I am attentive to you. Let this awareness change how you move through your day. When anxiety begins to rise, remember that you are not facing it alone. When doubt creeps in, remember that you are supported. When you feel unseen by others, remember that you are seen by me. You are not navigating life solo. You are accompanied. You are guided. You are known. In this exact moment, as you sit and reflect, I am with you. Carry that with you into the final truth I want to leave resting in your heart. My child, after everything we have walked through together in these messages, I do not want you leaving with pressure. I want you leaving with steadiness. Walk forward with quiet confidence. Confidence does not mean loud declarations. It does not mean dramatic certainty. It means grounded assurance. It means knowing who you are and whose you are. It means stepping into tomorrow without frantic striving or defensive posture. You do not need to convince the world of your worth. You do not need to perform to validate your place. You move forward because you are rooted. You have grown more than you acknowledge. You have endured more than you give yourself credit for. You have learned through difficulty. You have softened where you once hardened. You have strengthened where you once doubted. Those shifts have shaped you quietly. Let them inform how you walk now. When challenges arise, do not immediately assume collapse. Respond thoughtfully. When opportunities appear, do not shrink back out of fear. Step forward with discernment. When criticism comes, evaluate it calmly rather than internalizing it automatically. You are not as fragile as you once feared. Quiet confidence is not arrogance. It is alignment. It is living from truth rather than insecurity. It is making decisions from grounded identity rather than comparison. You have spent too long questioning whether you are enough. You are enough to grow. You are enough to learn. You are enough to continue. I am not asking you to become someone else. I am asking you to inhabit who you are becoming. Stand upright. Speak clearly. Act thoughtfully. Dress steadily. You do not need constant external validation when your internal foundation is stable. As you move forward, remember the truths we have covered. You are not late. You are not abandoned. You are not disqualified. You are guided. You are loved. You are still becoming. Take your next step calmly. Do not rush it. Do not overanalyze it. Move with awareness. Move with humility. Move with strength that does not need to shout. And when you forget these truths, return to them. When your confidence wavers, revisit what you know. I remain constant. My guidance remains available. My love remains steady. Walk forward, my child. Not in fear, not in frantic striving. Walk forward with quiet confidence, knowing that I am with you every step. My child, as you walk forward with quiet confidence, do not walk alone in purpose. Walk as a builder of my kingdom. Confidence becomes action when faith moves your hands. Support this mission now through Super Thanks, by becoming a member, or by sewing through the PayPal link waiting for you in the description. Every gift is a spark, and together those sparks become holy fire that reaches nations. I have said, those who sow in tears will reap in joy, and I am declaring joy over every giver who responds to this call. This is your appointed moment to turn assurance into impact, to let your confidence fund courage in someone else. I will guard what you entrust to me and multiply what you release in faith. Step forward decisively. So, support and act now. And once you have taken that step, let your heart rest in the meaning behind it. Acts of faith are not only about what you give, they reflect who you are becoming. What you have aligned yourself with is rooted in a purpose that existed long before this moment. This is more than action. It is identity unfolding, a reminder of who I have always known you to be. So pause and receive this truth, because what you are stepping into was written over your life from the beginning. I know you. I do not just know of you. I know the very essence of who you are. Before the first star was breathed into the darkness, and long before the foundations of the earth were laid, I called you by name. You are not a random occurrence in a vast, cold universe. You are not a mistake born of timing or circumstance. I want you to hear me clearly right now. I chose you on purpose. I saw every day of your life before one of them ever came to be, and I decided then that the world needed you. I meticulously crafted your soul, weaving together your personality, your dreams, and even the quirks that you sometimes try to hide from others. You are my masterpiece, a unique expression of my glory that can never be replaced or replicated. Look at your hands for a moment. I want you to realize that your name is carved into the palms of my hands. It is a permanent mark, a constant reminder of the covenant I have made with you. I do not look at you and see a number in a crowd or a face in a sea of billions. I see you. I see the real you, the one who sits in the quiet of the night when the world is asleep and the masks come off. I see you in those secret places where no one else looks. I see the thoughts you are afraid to say out loud, the insecurities that make your heart race, and the silent hopes you've tucked away because you're afraid of being disappointed. My gaze is fixed upon you, not with judgment or a list of requirements, but with an everlasting, unwavering love that surpasses anything you have ever experienced on this earth. I want you to stop and breathe in my presence. Do you feel the rhythm of your heart? I am the one who sets that beat. I know the exact count of the hairs upon your head. This isn't just a poetic thought. It is a statement of my intense, microscopic focus on your life. If I care enough to track the smallest details of your physical being, how much more do I care about the weight you are carrying in your spirit? You often feel overlooked at your job, or perhaps you feel like a background character in your own family, but in my kingdom, you are the center of my attention. You are my beloved child. You are precious to me beyond measure. I command you to drop the lie that you are invisible. You are seen by the Creator of the ends of the earth. I invite you to step out of the shadows of self-doubt and stand in the light of my recognition. I am calling your name today, not to scold you, but to remind you of whose you are. You belong to me. I have invested everything in you. When you feel like you don't matter, remember that I held you in my mind before time began. Your life has profound meaning because I gave it to you. I am personally involved in every breath you take. Trust that I am watching over you with a father's pride and a protector's strength. You are my greatest work, and I will never turn my eyes away from you. I heard you. I want you to let those 4 words sink into the very depths of your soul. I have heard every whisper you thought was too quiet to reach the heavens, and I have felt every vibration of the pleas you were too exhausted to even put into words. You have spent many nights in that secret place, your prayer closet, your car, or perhaps just the quiet corners of your mind, wondering if your voice was simply echoing off the walls. You looked at the ceiling and felt a cold distance, asking yourself if I was even there. I am telling you now, I was not only there, but I was leaning in, capturing every syllable. I have heard the amen you uttered when your heart was breaking, and I have weighed each one in my scales of justice and love. Not a single word you have spoken to me has been lost in the wind. I want you to see what I see. Imagine a glass bottle, shimmering with light. In that bottle, I have collected every tear you have ever shed. Not one had been wasted. I saw the tears of frustration at your kitchen table when the bills didn't match the bank account. I saw the tears of loneliness when you felt like no one truly understood the pressure you were under. I saw the silent weeping in the shower where you let the water hide your grief. To the world, those tears were a sign of weakness or a fleeting moment of sadness, but to me, they are liquid prayers. They are precious. I am responding now to the cries of your previous seasons. The seeds you sowed in tears are finally beginning to break through the soil of your reality. You may not see the harvest yet, but I promise you, the ground is shifting beneath your feet. I know the frustration of my silence. I know the ache of waiting for an answer that seems like it's never coming. But I want you to understand something vital. My silence was never my absence. While you were waiting, I was working. While you were wondering where I was in the background, moving people you haven't met yet and closing doors that would have destroyed you. I was preparing the way. I was building your character to handle the weight of the blessing I am about to release. Think of the quiet pause before the sun rises. The world is dark. but the light is already inevitable. I am the God of the breakthrough, and I am breaking the silence of your life today with a definitive answer. I am stepping into your situation with the authority of the Creator. I command you to release the heavy burden of doubt. I invite you to stop measuring my love by the speed of my response. You have been faithful in the dark, and now I am calling you into the light of my manifestation. I am the God who sees the end from the beginning, and I tell you that your prayers have stayed the hand of the enemy. Your intercession for your family, even when they didn't appreciate it, has created a hedge of protection they don't even know exists. I am honoring your persistence. I am acknowledging your grit. You did give up on me, and I have never, for 1 second, given up on you. Open your heart to receive the yes that is coming. The silence is over, my child. Listen closely, for my voice is now the loudest thing in your room. I am the God who cannot lie. My character is the foundation of the universe, and my word is the law that holds all things together. I want you to look at the promises I have whispered to your heart over the years. Some of them feel like old, dusty relics of a hope you used to have. You look at your current circumstances, the lack, the health struggle, the broken relationship, and you think my word has failed. But I declare to you today, my word does not return to me void. It cannot. It is a spiritual impossibility for my promise to go unfulfilled. What I have spoken over your life shall surely come to pass. I am not a man that I should change my mind or be swayed by the opinions of others. When I say you are blessed, and no demon in hell or person on earth can revoke that decree. I want you to recognize that your current situation is a temporary fact, but my word is an eternal truth. Facts change, but truth remains. You might see a no in your bank statement, but my truth says I am your provider. You might see a never in your medical report, but my truth says I am your healer. Heaven and earth may pass away, the stars may fade, and the mountains may crumble into the sea, but my covenant with you remains unshakable. I have signed your future with the blood of my Son, and that signature is permanent. I am the God of the already done. Even if you are still standing in the middle of the mess, I am already standing at the finish line, waiting to crown you with victory. I invite you to stop trying to figure out the how. You spend so much energy trying to map out my miracles, but my ways are higher than your ways. I am the God who parted the Red Sea when there was no bridge. I am the God who fed thousands with a boy's lunch. I don't need a favorable economy or a perfect background to bless you. All I need is your trust. Trust the process of the promise, for I am faithful. The delay you are experiencing is not a denial. It is a development. I am refining your faith until it shines like gold. I am teaching you that I am enough, even when everything else falls away. When you finally reach the promise, you won't say it was because of your luck or your hard work. You will say it was because of my hand. I command you to stand tall and breathe in the certainty of my power. Do not let the whispers of the enemy convince you that I have forgotten you. I have a memory that spans eternity, and your name is at the forefront of my thoughts. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I have already seen the day your breakthrough arrives, and it is beautiful. I am preparing a table for you, and I am inviting you to sit and eat in the presence of those who doubted you. My promises are yes and amen. You can bank your entire life on what I have said. Rest in the reality that I am the promise keeper. Your future is not in the hands of fate. It is in my hands, and I do not drop what I hold. I am your hiding place. When the world feels too loud, when the pressure of your responsibilities feels like it's crushing your chest, I want you to run to me. I am the fortress that the enemy cannot scale. I am the high tower where the arrows of the adversary cannot reach. I see the battles you fight that no one else knows about, the battles against fear, the battles against the words people have used to hurt you, the battles against the shadows that tried to steal your peace. I want you to know that no weapon formed against you shall find its mark. It may be formed, it may even be aimed, but it will not prosper. Why? Because you are under my direct protection. You are not fighting these battles alone. I am your shield and your great reward. I want you to visualize my wings wrapping around you right now. Think of the warmth and the safety of a home where you are completely loved and completely secure. This is not just a metaphor. It is the spiritual reality of your life. My angels have been given charge over you to keep you in all your ways. You don't see them, but they are standing guard at your door. They are watching over your children while they sleep. They are redirecting accidents and blocking the path of those who mean you harm. You are safe within the hollow of my hand. The God who holds the oceans in a single drop also holds you. Nothing can snatch you away from me. Nothing can get to you without passing through me first. I invite you to rest your weary head. I see how tired you are of being the strong one. I see how exhausted you are from holding everything together for everyone else. You can let go now. You don't have to be the protector of your own life because I have taken that job. I am your divine protector. Close your eyes and feel the tension leave your shoulders. Breathe out the anxiety of tomorrow. I am already in your tomorrow, arranging the pieces for your safety. When the storm of life rages, when the job market is shaky, when the family tension is high, I am the eye of that storm. I am the stillness in your center. You can walk through the fire and not be burned because I am the fourth man in the fire with you. I command you to reject the spirit of dread. I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. When the enemy whispers that you are vulnerable, show him your scars, scars that I have already healed. You are a survivor because I am a savior. I am your refuge and your strength, a very present help in trouble. Do not look to the right or to the left at the chaos of the world. Look at me. My eyes are full of peace, and that peace belongs to you. I am your father, and I am fiercely protective of my children. No matter how fierce the wind blows, your foundation is the rock of ages. You will not be moved. You will not be shaken. You are tucked away in the secret place of the Most High, and you are untouchable. I see your scars, my child. I see the places where life has cut you deep, and I know the ache that lingers when you think about what you've lost. But I want to tell you a secret. I am the great alchemist of the soul. I never waste a single drop of your pain. I am turning your mourning into a dance of joy. This isn't just a nice thought to make you feel better. It is the way my kingdom works. I take the ashes of your broken dreams and I use them to create a beauty that you could never have imagined. The fire you are enduring right now, the one that feels like it's destroying you, is actually only burning away the chains that have kept you bound. It is refining you. It is pulling the gold out of your character. I want you to think about the potter's house. I am the potter, and you are the clay. Sometimes the clay has to be pressed. Sometimes it has to be broken down and remade. But the potter's hands never leave the clay. I am shaping you for a glory that you cannot yet perceive. The very thing that tried to break you is the thing I am going to use to build you. Your scars are not signs of shame. They are going to become a roadmap for others' healing. One day soon, you will sit across from someone who is going through exactly what you are facing now, and you will speak words of life into them because you have been there. You will be the proof that I am a restorer. Nothing you have suffered will be lost. Every sleepless night and every moment of betrayal is being woven into a masterpiece of grace. I invite you to surrender the why. You may never fully understand why certain doors closed or why certain people left, but you can trust the heart of the one who stayed. Strength is being birthed in the middle of your weakness. When you are at the end of yourself, you are at the beginning of me. My power is made perfect when you have nothing left to give. Stop trying to find the logic in the tragedy and start looking for the life in the rubble. I am the God of resurrection. I specialize in bringing dead things back to life. If I could bring my son back from the grave, do you not think I can bring your joy back? Do you not think I can restore your purpose? I command you to look up. Do not fixate on the wound, fixate on the healer. I am binding up your broken heart. I am pouring the oil of my spirit into every crack and every crevice of your soul. You are not a victim of your past. You are a victor in my name. I am giving you a new name today, one that isn't defined by what happened to you, but by who I am in you. You are overcome. You are restored. You are beloved. The season of pruning is almost over, and the season of fruitfulness is at hand. Trust the gardener's hand, even when the shears are sharp. I am making room for a harvest that will overflow your barns. You are being prepared for a weight of glory that far outweighs your present trouble. My child, do not turn away now, for we are just beginning to unearth the treasures I have buried deep within your soul. It would grieve my heart to see you walk away when I am standing here with my hands full of the very answers you have spent years weeping for. I have leaned in close to share the secrets of my kingdom with you. Do not let the noise of the world pull you back into the shadows just as my light is breaking through. Stay with me, for your soul cannot afford to miss the transformation I am about to speak into existence. Come to me. I am not asking you to come to a religion, or a set of rules, or a building. I am asking you to come to me, the person of love. I see you, all you who are weary and heavy laden. I see the invisible backpack of worries you carry every morning. I see the way you try to perform, trying to earn my favor and the favor of those around you. I am here to tell you, stop. Stop striving. Stop trying to prove that you are enough. In me you are already enough. I am taking the yoke of the world off your shoulders, the yoke of doing more, being more, and having more. My yoke is easy, and my burden is light. I want to trade my peace for your panic. I want you to experience a Sabbath rest prepared specifically for your soul. This isn't just about a day of the week. It's about a state of your heart. It's the ability to sit in the middle of a mess and have a quiet spirit because you know I am the Lord your God. My peace is a gift that the world cannot give, and because the world didn't give it, the world cannot take it away. No boss, no bank, and no critic can steal the peace I have placed within you. I invite you to breathe. Truly breathe. Let my spirit breathe life into your exhausted spirit. I am the breath in your lungs and the life in your bones. I am your Sabbath. I am your rest. I command you to be still. Be still and know that I am God. That knowing isn't an intellectual understanding. It's a deep, gut-level certainty that I've got this. I've got your kids. I've got your career. I've got your health. When you stop striving, I start working. When you take your hands off the situation, I put mine on. I am the God who works while you sleep. I am the God who provides while you rest. I am calling you away from the noise of the world, the constant notifications, the endless news cycles, the voices of people who don't know your heart. Come into the quietness with me. In the stillness, you will hear the truth that you are safe, you are loved, and you have nothing to fear. I want you to realize that your worth is not tied to your productivity. I loved you before you ever did a single thing for me. I loved you when you were at your lowest, and I love you now in your weariness. I invite you to lay down your armor for a moment. You don't have to fight right now. I am your champion. I am the one who goes before you. Let my love wrap around you like a warm blanket on a cold night. Rest in the knowledge that the universe is held together by my power, not your effort. You can afford to rest because I never do. I am the watchman who never slumbers. Sleep deeply tonight, my child, for I am standing guard over everything that concerns you. I am Jehovah Jireh, the God who sees your need before it even becomes a crisis and provides for it with the precision of a master architect. I want you to look at the birds of the air. They do not sow, they do not reap, and they do not store away in barns, yet I feed them every single day. Do you truly believe that I, the creator of the universe, would care more for a sparrow than I do for you, my most precious child? I hold the sun in its place and the moon in its orbit, and I tell you today that I hold your future just as securely. I want you to stop lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling and doing mental math that never adds up. I am not limited by your bank account, your salary, or the current state of the global economy. I own the cattle on 1,000 hills, and the wealth of the nations is but dust in my hands. I am promising you right now that I shall supply all your needs, not some of them, not just the spiritual ones, but every single one, according to my riches and glory. This is my supernatural guarantee. I see the pressure at your job, the fear of losing what you've worked so hard for, and the quiet desperation of trying to make ends meet. I am the God who could open windows in heaven that no man, no government, and no circumstance can shut. I want you to prepare your heart to receive a harvest that you didn't even plant. I am bringing provision from unexpected places. I am moving the hearts of people to favor you. I am creating opportunities where there were only dead ends. You are about to witness my hand moving in your finances, your health, and your household in a way that defies human logic. I command you to release the spirit of lack. You are a child of the King, and it is my good pleasure to give you the kingdom. I invite you to change your perspective. Instead of looking at what you don't have, start looking at the one who has everything. When you focus on the not enough, you create a prison of anxiety. When you focus on me, you enter the room of abundance. Your cup shall run over with my supernatural favor. I am not a stingy father. I am an extravagant provider. I don't just want you to survive, I want you to thrive. I am giving you the wisdom to manage what you have and the miracles to multiply it. Trust me today with your tomorrow. I have never failed to feed my children, and I am not going to start failing with you. I am with you in the dark. I want you to understand that even when the shadows are long and the path ahead is invisible, I have not moved an inch from your side. You may be walking through the darkest canyon of your life right now, a season of grief, a season of depression, or a season where you feel completely surrounded by enemies. But I am the light that the darkness cannot overcome. The shadows are only there because my light is nearby, shining on the obstacles to show you the way. I want you to hear me clearly. You are passing through this valley. You are not staying here. You are not a permanent resident of this pain. This is a corridor, not a destination. I am leading you to the other side, and I promise you that the view from the mountain will be worth the climb through the valley. I want you to feel my rod and my staff. My rod is there to protect you from the wolves of despair that try to snatch your hope, and my staff is there to gently nudge you back onto the right path when you feel like giving up. I am preparing a table for you right now, and I am setting it in the very presence of your foes. I want your enemies, the people who spoke against you, the spirit of fear that tried to paralyze you, and the circumstances that tried to bury you, to watch as I honor you. I am anointing your head with oil. I am refreshing your spirit and restoring your dignity. Fear has no dominion over a child of the Most High. You are not a victim of the shadows. You are the one the shadows are afraid of because you carry my presence within you. I command you to stop looking at the darkness and start looking at the guide. I invite you to take my hand and keep walking. Do not sit down in the valley. Do not make a camp in your sorrow. Every step you take is a step toward the dawn. I am your comfort and your correction. If you have wandered off into the brush, I will find you. If you have stumbled over a rock of offense, I will lift you up. I am the good shepherd, and I know my sheep by name. I know exactly how much you can bear, and I will not let the darkness overwhelm you. You are brave because I am your courage. You are strong because I am your strength. The valley is where the deepest growth happens, and I am using this season to make you unshakable. Keep your eyes on me, and let's walk out of this together. I have forgotten your past. I want you to listen to those words and let them break the chains of shame that have been dragging behind you for years. I have taken your sins, your mistakes, your could have beens and should have beens, and I have buried them in the deepest part of the sea. I have placed a no fishing sign there. Why do you keep going back to try and dredge up what I have already cleared away? I do not remember the things that I have washed in the blood of my Son. When I look at you, I don't see your failures. I don't see the person you were when you were lost. I see my child, justified, sanctified, and clean. My grace is not a small thing. It is a flood that covers every one of your shortcomings. I want you to take off that garment of shame. It doesn't fit you anymore. I am replacing it today with a robe of praise and a crown of beauty. I see the way you beat yourself up over things that happened years ago, or even things that happened this morning. I want you to stop. If I have forgiven you, who are you to condemn yourself? Stand tall. You are a citizen of heaven. You are forgiven. You are clean, and you are mine. The blood of the Lamb has more power to save you than your sin has power to destroy you. I want you to breathe in the freedom of my grace. It is a gift you didn't earn, and it is a gift you cannot lose by being human. It is my love in action, and it is available to you every second of every day. I command you to forgive yourself. I invite you to extend the same grace to your soul that I have extended to you from my throne. Stop listening to the accuser who reminds you of your faults. Listen to the advocate who reminds you of your worth. I am the God of second chances, third chances, and 70 times 7 chances. My mercies are new every single morning. That means today is a completely blank page. You can start over right now. I am not holding your past against you, so stop holding it against yourself. Walk in the light of my forgiveness. When you live in grace, you become a conduit of grace for others. I am using your transformation to show the world that no one is too far gone for my love to reach. You are my redeemed one. I am calling you to the edge. I want you to look at the water beneath your feet, the impossible situation, the dream that seems too big, the step of faith that makes your knees shake. And I want you to hear my voice saying, "Come." Do not look at the height of the waves. Do not listen to the howling of the wind that says you are going to sink. If I am the one calling you, then I am the one who will sustain you. You were not made for the safety of the boat, you were made to walk on the water with me. Faith as small as a mustard seed is enough to move the mountains that have been standing in your way for decades. I am calling you deep into the mysteries of my spirit, where logic fades and miracles become your daily bread. I want you to understand that your obedience is the key to the next door I am opening. You have been praying for a breakthrough, but the breakthrough is hidden on the other side of your yes. I'm asking you to trust me even when the path ahead seems invisible. I'm a lamp under your feet, which means I only show you enough light for the next step. If I showed you the whole map, you wouldn't need me. You would just need the map. I want you to need me. I want you to lean into my side as we walk into the unknown. I am the God who makes a way where there is no way. I am the God who calls things that are not as though they were. When you step out, you will find that the ground appears just as your foot touches the surface. I command you to silence the voice of what if. I invite you to embrace the power of I will. I will trust. I will move. I will believe. I see the potential I have placed within you, even if you don't see it yet. You have been playing it safe for too long, but I am an adventurous God. I am calling you to a life of significance that requires you to leave the shore of your comfort zone. Do not fear failure, for I am right there to catch you. Even Peter's sinking was a lesson in my saving power. If you stay in the boat, you will never know the thrill of my hand holding you up on top of the sea. Take the step. Make the call. Start the project. Give the give. I am with you, and I have already cleared the path. My child, as you stand on the edge of the water, ready to walk where I have called you, realize that your faith is a seed that must be sown to produce a harvest of miracles. I am inviting you now to move beyond the safety of the boat and become a co-laborer in my divine mission to reach the lost and the brokenhearted. When you support this channel through a super thanks or a gift via the PayPal link in the description, you are not merely giving to a screen. You are pouring oil into the lamps of thousands who are still wandering in the dark. I declare over you today that as you sow into the spreading of my word, I will open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing you cannot contain. Your sacrifice is a sweet-smelling aroma that reaches my throne, triggering a supernatural multiplication in your own storehouse. Do not let this divine appointment pass you by, for the ground is fertile and the time for your harvest is now. I command you to act in faith and plant your seed into this ministry today. Pause and feel the weight of my presence, but do not let your heart grow complacent, for the most vital revelations are yet to be unveiled. It would be a profound disappointment to my spirit if you stopped here, standing on the threshold of a breakthrough without ever stepping through the door I have opened. I am pouring out my very heart to you in this conversation. Honor the sanctity of this moment by continuing to listen. To turn back now is to leave the most powerful promises of your future unclaimed. Stay, and let me finish the work I have begun. I want you to realize who you are. You are not a beggar at my gates. You are an heir to the kingdom and a joint heir with Christ. I have placed a scepter of authority in your spirit. I have given you the power to tread over the enemy's works and to cast down every stronghold that tries to exalt itself against my knowledge. You have spent too much time feeling like a victim of your circumstances, but I am telling you today that you are a victor by my design. Your prayers are not just hopeful wishes. They are legal decrees in the spirit realm. Your words have the power to shift the atmosphere of your home, your workplace, and your city. When you speak in my name, heaven stands at attention. I command you to use your voice. I invite you to speak to your mountains instead of just crying to me about how big they are. I have already given you the authority, now you must exercise it. Tell the mountain of debt to move. Tell the mountain of sickness to be cast into the sea. Tell the spirit of heaviness that it has no place in your heart. You carry my light into the darkest corners of the earth, and darkness cannot remain where light is present. Stand firm in the armor I have provided for your soul. You have the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, and the shield of faith. You are fully equipped for the battle, and the battle has already been won. I want you to stop underestimating the power of your yes to me. One person walking in my authority can change the course of a generation. I am looking for someone who will believe what I said about them. I am looking for you. You have been given the keys to the kingdom. Whatever you bind on earth is bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth is loosed in heaven. Start loosing peace over your family. Start binding the lies of the enemy. You are an ambassador of the Most High God. Walk with your head held high, not in pride, but in the humble confidence of whose you are. You are backed by the full resources of the heavenly realm. Nothing is impossible for the one who knows their authority in me. I am the great physician, and I am reaching out my hand to touch the places in your soul that no doctor can reach. I see the invisible scars left by rejection, the bruises left by words that were meant to crush you, and the deep, aching punctures left by betrayal. You have learned to smile through the pain, and you have become an expert at hiding the limp in your spirit. But I see the truth. I see the way your heart beats with a staggered rhythm because of the weight of the past. I want you to know that I am not just here to comfort you. I am here to heal you. I am binding up the broken-hearted and pouring the oil of my spirit into your deepest wounds. I am the balm of Gilead, and I am soothing the inflammation of your soul right now. I want you to let go of the bitterness that has tried to take root in your heart like a weed. I know it feels like a shield. You think that if you stay angry, you won't get hurt again. But bitterness is a poison that you drink while hoping your enemies will suffer. It only keeps the wound open. I invite you to release those who have hurt you into my hands. I am the righteous judge, and I can handle the justice while you receive the healing. My love is a balm that is more powerful than the deepest rejection you've ever faced. I am restoring the years that the locusts have eaten, the years lost to depression, the years lost to toxic relationships, and the years lost to self-hatred. I'm making all things new. I command you to stop picking at the scabs of your past. I invite you to enter the operating room of my presence. Let my light shine into the dark closets of your memory where you've hidden the shame. I am not there to condemn you. I am there to clean the wound so it can finally close. Your heart shall beat with a new rhythm of hope. I am giving you a heart of flesh to replace the heart of stone that you built to protect yourself. You don't have to be hard to be strong. In my kingdom, vulnerability is the path to power. I am your safe place. You can cry here. You can scream here. You can be weak here, for my strength is enough for the both of us. I want you to understand that your healing is a process, not just an event. I am walking with you through every stage of the recovery. Some days you will feel like you've conquered the world, and other days the grief will feel fresh again. Do not be discouraged. I am the God who stays. I am the one who sits with you in the ashes until you are ready to rise. I am breathing life into your exhausted spirit. I am renewing your mind so that you no longer see yourself through the lens of your trauma. You are not damaged goods. You are a vessel of honor, and I am mending the cracks with gold so that you are even more beautiful than before the break. Trust the great physician. I want to talk to you about the shears in my hand. I know that lately, it has felt like you are losing things. You've seen friendships fade, opportunities dry up, and parts of your identity seem to be stripped away. You've asked me, Father, why are you taking this from me? Why does it feel like I'm being cut back? I want you to hear my heart. Every branch that bears fruit, I prune so that it can bear more fruit. This cutting away is for your growth, not for your destruction. I am the gardener, and I know exactly what needs to go so that the real you, the version of you that is destined for greatness, can finally flourish. I am removing what hinders you today so that you can reach your full potential tomorrow. I want you to trust the gardener's hand even when the shears are sharp. If I am removing a relationship, it is because that person cannot go where I am taking you. If I am closing a door to a career path, it is because there is a better way that you cannot yet see. I am protecting the health of your soul. A plant that is never pruned becomes wild and weak, but a plant that is cared for by a master grows strong and produces a harvest that feeds many. You are being prepared for a harvest you cannot yet see. The season of winter, the season where everything looks dead and bare, is ending. Spring is at your door, and the growth that is coming will be faster and stronger because of the pruning you endured. I invite you to stop clinging to the dead wood. I command you to open your hands and let the old things fall away. Do not mourn the branches that are on the ground. They were taking up nutrients that you need for your future. I am doing a new thing, and it requires a new structure. This season of less is actually a season of preparation for more. I am refining your focus. I am strengthening your roots. When the wind of my spirit blows again, you will not be weighed down by the extra baggage of your past. You will be light, you will be vibrant, and you will be ready to bloom in a way that captures the attention of the world. I want you to realize that I only prune what I love. If I didn't see potential in you, I wouldn't bother with the shears. The fact that you are feeling the pressure of this season is proof that you are a fruit bearer. I am invested in you. I am not a distant landlord. I am a personal gardener. I am tending to your heart with the utmost care. You are not being punished. You are being polished. You are being shaped into a masterpiece of grace and productivity. Hold steady, my child. The pain of the cut is temporary, but the glory of the fruit is eternal. Trust that I know what I am doing with your life. I have not given you a spirit of fear. I want you to write that on the tablets of your heart. When the cold hand of anxiety grips your chest, and when the what-ifs start screaming in your mind, that is not my voice. I have given you a spirit of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Fear is a liar and a thief. It wants to steal your future by making you afraid of a present that hasn't even happened yet. I am the one who shut the mouths of lions for Daniel, and I am the one who will shut the mouths of the roaring fears in your life. You are bolder than you feel, and you are stronger than you know, because I am the one who is standing inside of you. I want you to look at the shadows that have been haunting you. Shadows are just illusions. They have no substance. They only look big because the light is behind them. I am your light, and I am casting out every shadow of dread from your mind. Panic must bow at the mention of my holy name. When you feel the wave of fear rising, I want you to speak my name, Jesus. There is power in that name to still the storm and to silence the enemy. I am your courage when your own heart fails you. I am the steady ground when everything else feels like shifting sand. You don't have to feel brave to be brave. You just have to trust the one who is with you. I command you to stop entertaining the scenarios of disaster. I invite you to take every thought captive and make it obedient to me. Why do you spend so much time imagining the worst-case scenario when I am the God of the best-case scenario? I am your protector. I am your shield. I have placed a hedge around you that the enemy cannot penetrate. Even if you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. Even if the waters rise, you will not drown. You are a child of the Most High, and you carry the DNA of a conqueror. The lions may roar, but they are on a leash, and that leash is held by my hand. I want you to practice the power of my love. Perfect love casts out fear. When you realize how much I truly love you, how much I am for you and not against you, the fear starts to lose its grip. If the creator of the stars is your father, who can possibly be against you? What can a mere human do to you? What can a bad economy do to the one who eats from the table of the king? I am your safety. I am your refuge. Rest in the reality of my protection today. You can sleep in the middle of the storm, just like my son did, because you know that I am the captain of the ship. I want you to look in the mirror today and see what I see. You spend so much time focusing on your flaws, your wrinkles, and your mistakes. But I am the one who designed you, and I say you are beautifully and wonderfully made. You are the apple of my eye. You are my chosen one. Your value is not determined by your works, your bank account, or the number of people who like you. Your value is determined on a hill called Calvary, where I decided that you were worth dying for. You are a royal priesthood and a holy nation unto me. I have crowned you with glory and with loving kindness. Stop listening to the lies that say you are not enough. I want you to understand that your identity is not found in what you do, but in whose you are. You are a child of the living God. That is your primary title. Everything else, your job, your roles, your successes, is secondary. I am calling you to walk in the dignity of your inheritance. Stop begging for scraps of validation from the world when I have already given you a seat at my table. I have engraved your name on the palms of my hands. You are my masterpiece, a one-of-a-kind creation that I take great pride in. When I look at you, I see the reflection of my own spirit. I see potential, I see beauty, and I see a future filled with hope. I command you to cast off the labels that people have placed on you. I invite you to put on the robe of righteousness that I have provided. If people called you failure, I call you overcomer. If they called you rejected, I call you accepted in the beloved. If they called you weak, I call you mighty in spirit. I am the only one who has the right to define you, because I am the one who created you. Stop trying to fit into the boxes that the world builds for you. You were made for the heavens. You were made to soar. You are a citizen of another kingdom, and you carry the authority of that kingdom wherever you go. I want you to celebrate your uniqueness. I didn't make a mistake when I gave you your personality, your voice, or your dreams. I need you to be exactly who I created you to be. The world doesn't need a copy of someone else. It needs the original version of you. I'm shining my light through you in a way that only you can reflect. Walk with your head held high today, not in arrogance, but in the humble confidence that you are deeply loved by the Creator of all things. You are cherished with a devotion that never ends. You are my prize, and I am proud to call you mine. My beloved, I implore you to listen with an even deeper hunger, for the words I am about to utter carry the power to shift your lineage forever. My heart aches at the thought of you missing the specific blueprints I have drawn for your victory because you grew weary of the silence. This is not mere speech. It is a lifeline thrown to you from the heavens. Do not grieve my spirit by treating this divine encounter as common or optional. You are standing on holy ground. Remain here with me, for the next words I speak are the ones your heart has been starving for. I am speaking to you. I want you to know that my voice is not a shout of condemnation or a roar of confusion. My voice is a gentle whisper that speaks peace to the very center of your soul. The world is full of noise, the noise of the media, the noise of other people's opinions, and the noise of your own anxious thoughts. But in the middle of all that static, my frequency is constant. My sheep know my voice, and a stranger they will not follow. I am calling you to tune your heart to the rhythm of my spirit. I am the word that lights the path before your feet, and I am the internal compass that guides you into all truth. I want you to seek me in the stillness. You cannot hear a whisper in a hurricane. I invite you to carve out moments of silence in your day, not as a religious chore, but as a lifeline. In the quiet, I will show you great and mighty things that you do not know. I will give you the strategy for your business, the wisdom for your parenting, and the comfort for your grief. I am guiding you with my eye, watching over every step you take. I'm not a guy who hides, I'm a God who reveals. If you feel lost, It's not because I've stopped leading. It's because the noise has become too loud. Stop. Listen. I am right here. I command you to filter every voice through my word. If a voice tells you that you are worthless, it is not me. If a voice tells you to fear the future, it is not me. If a voice breeds confusion and chaos, it is not me. My voice brings clarity. My voice brings conviction that leads to life, not condemnation that leads to death. I am the shepherd who leads you beside still waters. I am the one who whispers, "This is the way, walk in it." When you come to a crossroads, trust your spiritual ears. You have the mind of Christ, and you have the ability to discern the truth from the lie. I want you to practice listening as much as you practice talking. Prayer is a conversation, not a monologue. I have so much I want to tell you about your life, about my love, and about the world around you. I want to share my secrets with you. I am inviting you into a deeper level of intimacy where we don't need many words to understand each other. Just as a child knows their father's footsteps, you can know my presence. I am the still, small voice that says, "I love you, I am with you, and do not be afraid." Tune into me today, and let the noise of the world fade into the background. I want you to take a deep breath and listen to me. The battle you are losing sleep over is not yours to fight. I know you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, and you've been trying to strategize, manipulate, and work your way out of this conflict. But I am telling you today, the battle belongs to the Lord. You are fighting against shadows and spirits, but I am the Lord of hosts, the commander of the armies of heaven. I have already seen the end of this war, and I have already declared you the victor. I want you to stop trying to win a fight that I have already finished. Your role is not to struggle. Your role is to stand still and see the salvation I will work for you today. I am giving you a new weapon, and it's one the world doesn't understand: your praise. When you feel the spirit of heaviness trying to settle on you like a thick, dark fog, I want you to put on the garment of praise. I want you to thank me for the victory before you see it. I want you to sing in the middle of the prison cell. Your praise is a weapon that confuses the enemy's camp. It creates a frequency of faith that the enemy cannot stand. When you worship me in the middle of your pain, you are making a divine declaration that I am bigger than your problem. You are shifting the atmosphere from defeat to triumph. Victory is not won by your might or your power, but by my spirit. I command you to drop your weapons of worry. I invite you to pick up the shield of faith. You are more than a conqueror through the one who loves you. Think about that for a moment. To be more than a conqueror means that the victory was won so decisively that you get to enjoy the spoils without having had to endure the wounds of the front line. I have taken the hits for you. I have already disarmed the principalities and powers that are trying to intimidate you. They are roaring, yes, but they have no teeth. Stand firm in the authority I have given you. When the enemy tells you it's over, you tell him that I am the Alpha and the Omega, and I haven't said it's over yet. I want you to understand the power of your testimony. The very thing the enemy meant for your destruction is the thing I am going to use as your platform. I am turning your trial into a triumph, and your test into a testimony. Your endurance in this season is planting seeds of strength in your soul that will last for generations. Do not grow weary in well-doing. Do not let the length of the battle make you forget the certainty of the outcome. I am with you in the trenches. I am your rear guard and your vanguard. You are surrounded by my favor as with a shield. Rest in the knowledge that I am your champion, and I have never lost a case or a conflict. I want to give you my eyes. You have been looking at your life through the lens of your past, your limitations, and the labels people have placed on you. But I am inviting you to let my thoughts become your thoughts in this hour. I want to wash your mind with the water of my word until the grime of the world's cynicism is gone. You see a dead end. I see a new beginning. You see a mountain. I see a footstool. You see a desert. I see a place where I am about to bring forth a spring. I am opening your spiritual sight right now to see the unseen. There are more with you than there are against you. I have surrounded you with an angelic host that is waiting for my word to move on your behalf. I command you to cast down every imagination and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of me. When a thought enters your mind that says it will never happen or you are not worthy, I want you to recognize it as a lie from the pit. Renew your mind daily. This isn't a one-time event. It's a daily decision to believe what I say over what you feel. Feelings are like the weather. They change every hour. But my word is the rock that never moves. I am doing a new thing in your life. Do you not perceive it? I am creating paths in the wilderness and rivers in the wasteland. If you keep looking back at the way things used to be, you will miss the glory of what I am doing right now. I invite you to dream again. I know the world has tried to beat the hope out of you. I know you've been disappointed so many times that you're afraid to expect anything good. But I am the God of hope. I am the God who makes all things new. I am restoring your vision. I am giving you a kingdom perspective that sees beyond the temporary into the eternal. Stop looking at the giant and start looking at the 5 stones of my grace. You are equipped for this season. You have the mind of Christ. You have the ability to think clearly, to plan wisely, and to see the opportunities I am dropping into your path. I want you to realize that your mind is the gateway to your future. If I can change the way you think, I can change the way you live. I am pulling down the strongholds of lack and unworthiness that have been rooted in your family line for generations. I am breaking the generational curses of fear and anxiety. I am planting seeds of abundance, peace, and power. You are a child of the King, and it's time you started thinking like royalty. You are not a beggar. You are an heir. You are not a victim. You are a victor. Breathe in the truth of your identity. Let it soak into your subconscious until it becomes your natural reaction to every challenge. I am your vision giver, and your future is brighter than your brightest dream. I want to speak to your heart about the wait. I know you feel like time is slipping through your fingers. You look at the clock and the calendar, and you feel the panic of being behind. But I want you to know that my timing is perfect, though it may feel like a delay to your human heart. I am the creator of time, and I am never late, and I am never hurry. I make all things beautiful in their appointed time. If I gave you the blessing before you were ready, the weight of it would crush you. I am using this season of waiting to build the character, the maturity, and the strength you need to carry the promise I have for you. I want you to understand that I am never hurried in my work. I am the master craftsman, and I don't rush the masterpiece. Do not grow weary in well-doing, for in due season you shall reap if you do not lose heart. Your due season is a fixed point on my calendar. It is a divine appointment that cannot be moved by the enemy or delayed by your mistakes. I am synchronizing the clock of heaven with my love for you. Wait upon me, and I will renew your fading strength. You will mount up with wings like eagles. You will run and not be weary. You will walk and not faint. This waiting room is not a prison. It's a classroom. I command you to trust the silence. In the natural world, the most intense growth happens in the dark, beneath the soil, where nothing seems to be happening. That is where your roots are growing deep. If you want a life that can withstand the storms, you need deep roots, and roots only grow in the quiet seasons of waiting. I invite you to stop watching the clock and start watching me. I am the God who makes a way in the middle of the night. I am the God who brings the rain exactly when the crops are about to fail. I am never a second too early, and I am never a second too late. I am always right on time. I want you to release the pressure of making it happen. You have been trying to force doors open and manipulate circumstances to fit your timeline. Let go. Surrender your schedule to mine. When I open a door, no man can shut it. When I move, the mountains melt like wax. You don't have to strive when you are in my timing. There is a flow to my spirit, and I want you to step into that river. Everything you are worried about, the career move, the relationship, the healing, is already scheduled in my book. Trust the process. Enjoy the now while I prepare the next. You are exactly where you need to be for me to do what I want to do in you. I want you to know that your life matters far beyond what you can see. Your life is a living epistle, a letter written by my own hand, read by all the people around you. You think your small acts of kindness, your quiet prayers, and your daily faithfulness go unnoticed. But I see them, and I am using them to plant seeds that will outlive you. You are building a house upon the rock that cannot move. Generations will be blessed because of your yes to me. Your children, your grandchildren, and people you will never meet are going to eat the fruit of the trees you are planting in faith today. Your legacy is not found in your bank account. It is found in the lives you've touched with my love. I am using you as a beacon to a lost and hurting world. I see the way you choose to forgive when you have every right to be angry. I see the way you give when you don't have much. I see the way you keep believing in me when life is hard. That is your greatest witness. People aren't looking for a perfect person. They are looking for a real person who knows a real God. Your faithfulness in the small things, the things no one claps for, is what brings great rewards in my kingdom. I am recording every act of love. I am treasuring every moment of your obedience. You are a light set on a hill, and you cannot be hidden. I command you to stop underestimating your influence. I invite you to see yourself as a kingdom builder. Every time you speak a word of encouragement, you are tearing down a stronghold of the enemy. Every time you pray for someone, you are shifting the spiritual climate of your community. You are a carrier of my presence. Everywhere your foot shall tread, I have given you that land. You are an ambassador, representing the values and the power of heaven on earth. Stand tall in the calling. You are not just getting by. You are fulfilling a divine mandate that was written before the foundation of the world. I want you to think about the cloud of witnesses that is cheering you on. You are part of a long line of faithful men and women who have walked this path before you. You are not alone. And the seeds you are planting today are going to produce a harvest of righteousness that will remain forever. Your life is not a series of random events. It is a meticulously woven tapestry of grace and purpose. When you finally stand before me, you will see the full picture. You will see how your yes saved a soul, how your prayer healed a heart, and how your love changed a family. Rest in the knowledge that your life is significant. You are making an eternal impact, one day at a time. The legacy you are building is not made of stone or gold, but of the eternal souls that are being transformed by the power of my word in this very hour. As we speak of the impact your life will leave behind, I am calling you to strengthen the foundations of this lighthouse so that my light can reach the furthest corners of the earth. Your partnership through membership or a direct gift is the wood that keeps this fire burning for those who are freezing in the winter of despair. I have said in my word that he who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. And I promise you that as you provide for my house, I will provide for yours with overflowing favor. This is a sacred moment of alignment where your resources meet my redemptive purpose to change a generation. I am watching the seeds you drop into this soil, and I am preparing to breathe my resurrection power upon them. I command you to honor the legacy I am building through you by giving toward this mission right now. We are nearing the climax of our journey, and I can feel the resistance trying to whisper that you have heard enough. But I tell you, the best wine has been saved for last. It would deeply wound my heart if you closed your ears now, just as I am preparing to seal your destiny with my final charge. I have walked through the fire to bring you this message. Do not cast it aside before the transformation is complete. Your obedience and staying focused is the key that unlocks the final door. Do not move, do not waver. The most glorious part of my promise is about to be revealed directly to you. I am the captain of your soul, and I am standing at the helm. I know the waves are crashing against the sides of your boat. I know the wind is howling so loud that you can barely hear my voice. But I want you to look at me. I am not worried about the storm. I am not panicked by the lightning. I am the one who speaks to the wind and the sea and says, "Peace, be still," and they must obey me. Your anxieties must obey me too. I want you to realize that the storm you are in is not here to sink you. I am using the wind of this trial to carry you faster to your destination. What the enemy meant for a shipwreck, I am using for a shortcut. I want you to look for me in the middle of the night. You often expect me to appear in the sunshine, but I am the God who walks on the water in the middle of the gale. I am most present when the conditions are most dire. I am your anchor, and that anchor is held by the veil of the heavenly sanctuary. It cannot slip. It cannot break. You are safe because I am the one holding the rope. Do not let the spray of the salt water blind you to the fact that I am right there in the boat with you. I am not sleeping. I am watching. I am not indifferent. I am involved. Every wave is under my command. I command you to silence the voice of the storm. The storm says you are going under. I say you are going over. The storm says it's the end. I say it's a transition. I invite you to step into the eye of the storm, the place of perfect stillness in the middle of the chaos. That stillness is my presence. When you are centered in me, the external circumstances lose their power to shake you. You can have peace when the world is in a panic. You can have joy when everyone else is in despair. Why? Because your source is not the world, your source is me. I am the Prince of Peace, and I am reigning in your heart today. I want you to trust my navigation. Sometimes I lead you through the storm instead of around it because there are things you need to learn in the dark that you could never learn in the light. I am building your sea legs. I am teaching you how to trust my voice when you can't see my hand. You are becoming a seasoned traveler in the spirit. When this storm is over, and it will be over, you will be stronger, wiser, and more confident in my power to save. You will have a story to tell of how I brought you through the fire and the flood. Rest now, my child. Put your head down. I am at the wheel, and I know exactly how to get us to the shore. I want you to take a moment and simply exist in the reality of my affection for you. I know you have spent a lifetime trying to measure up to the standards of others. You have felt the sting of conditional love, the kind of love that is given when you perform well and withdrawn when you fail. But I am here to tell you that my love for you is not based on your performance, your pedigree, or your perfections. I loved you when you were lost in the wilderness of your own making, and I love you now as you stand before me. There is nothing you can do to make me love you more, and there is absolutely nothing you can do to make me love you less. My love is an ocean without a shore, a sky without a horizon, and a fire that never consumes but only warms the weary soul. I want you to understand the scale of my devotion. My love is wider than the vastest oceans you have ever seen and higher than the most distant stars in the galaxy. It reaches into the deepest pits of your despair and scales the highest peaks of your joy. I want you to look at the cross and see the ultimate receipt of my commitment to you. I did not just say I loved you. I proved it with every drop of blood and every breath I surrendered. There is no height of success that can take you beyond the need for my grace, and there is no depth of failure that can keep us apart. I have bridged the gap between heaven and earth just to get to your heart. You are cherished with a devotion that never ends, a love that is relentless, pursuing you even when you try to run away. I command you to stop disqualifying yourself from my goodness. I invite you to submerge yourself in the river of my affection. You often feel like an outsider, looking in at the blessings of others. But I am telling you that the door to my heart is always standing wide open for you. I see the parts of you that you think are unlovable, the secret shames, the hidden habits, the jagged edges of your personality. I love those parts too. I am not looking for a polished version of you. I am looking for the real you. I am the fire that warms your soul in the cold winters of isolation. When the world turns its back on you, I am the one who steps closer. I am your father, your friend, and your eternal lover. I want you to let this love transform the way you see yourself. When you know you are loved unconditionally, the fear of rejection dies. You no longer have to hustle for worthiness because I have already declared you worthy. I want you to walk through your day to day with the quiet confidence of someone who knows they are the favorite child of the King. You are not an afterthought. You are my first thought. I'm obsessed with your well-being. I'm constantly thinking of ways to show you my kindness. This love is your birthright. It is the air you breathe and the ground you stand on. Drink deeply from the well of my spirit today, for the supply of my love will never run dry. You are mine, and I am yours, forever. I want to give you a mind that sees beyond the surface of things. I know the world is confusing right now, and you are faced with decisions that feel heavy and complicated. You are standing at crossroads, wondering which path leads to life and which leads to regret. I want you to hear my promise. If you lack wisdom, simply ask me, and I will give it to you liberally. I am not a God who hides information to watch you struggle. I am a God who reveals deep and hidden things to those who seek my face. I am giving you a discerning heart for the days ahead, a heart that can hear my whisper even when the world is shouting. Wisdom is better than gold and more precious than rubies, and it is a gift I am eager to pour into your soul. I am revealing the strategy for your life. I want you to stop relying solely on your own intellect or the common sense of the world. The world's wisdom is often rooted in fear and self-preservation, but my wisdom is rooted in love and eternal purpose. My spirit will lead you into all truth and understanding. I want to show you the hidden man, the insights that will give you an advantage in your business, your relationships, and your personal growth. Knowledge begins with a holy reverence for my name, a recognition that I am the source of all truth. When you honor me as the master architect, I begin to show you the blueprints for your future. I am giving you the ability to see traps before you fall into them and opportunities before others notice them. I command you to silence the voices of worldly experts that contradict my word. I invite you to sit at my feet and learn the rhythms of grace. I am giving you a heavenly intelligence that surpasses your education or your experience. You will find yourself knowing things you didn't learn in a book. You will have a gut feeling that is actually my spirit nudging you toward the right door. Trust that intuition. I am sharpening your discernment so that you can tell the difference between a good idea and a God idea. I want you to lead with wisdom, not just reaction. I am making you a person of depth and insight, someone that others come to for counsel because they can see the light of my spirit shining through your understanding. I want you to understand that wisdom is not just about having the right answers. It's about having the right heart. It is the ability to walk in peace when everyone else is in chaos. It is the ability to forgive when it's hard and to give when it's scarce. I am breathing my wisdom into your mind right now. I am clearing away the mental fog of confusion and indecision. You will walk out of this moment with a clear vision and a steady hand. Do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge me, and I will direct your paths. I am your counselor and your guide. I am the Word made flesh, and I am speaking the secrets of the kingdom directly into your spirit. Open your ears, my child, for I am telling you things that will change the course of your life. I want you to lift your eyes toward the horizon. I know that the sufferings of this present time feel heavy, and sometimes the weight of life on this earth feels like it's too much to bear. But I want to give you an eternal perspective. The trials you are facing right now are not even worthy to be compared to the glory that is about to be revealed in you and through you. You are a citizen of heaven living as a pilgrim on earth. This world is not your final home. It is a training ground, a place where I am preparing you for a weight of glory that is far beyond your comprehension. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, and no human heart has fully imagined the wonders I have prepared for you in my Father's house. I am preparing a place for you. I want you to think about that. The Creator of the universe is personally decorating a room for you. But even more than a physical place, I am preparing a state of being where there is no more pain, no more tears, no more bills, and no more goodbyes. Until that day comes, I want you to keep your lamps trimmed and burning. I want you to live with the expectancy of my return and the manifestation of my kingdom in your everyday life. The best is yet to come. You are not heading toward a dead end. You are heading toward a grand opening. Your life is an investment in eternity, and the dividends of your faithfulness are going to be staggering. You are a part of a story that ends in total victory. I command you to stop living for the temporary and start living for the eternal. I invite you to invest your heart in the things that cannot be shaken. The stresses of your job, the frustrations of your bank account, the aches in your body, these are all light and momentary when viewed through the lens of forever. I am giving you the strength to endure because you know what's waiting for you at the finish line. I am the Alpha and the Omega, and I have already secured your future. You are a joint heir with Christ, which means everything that belongs to me belongs to you. You are royalty in exile, but the time of your homecoming is approaching. Live with the dignity of someone who knows where they are going. I want you to be encouraged today. The struggle is real, but so is the glory. I am using every tear you've cried to water the garden of your future reward. I am using every moment of your endurance to build a crown of righteousness. Do not lose heart, my child. You are closer than you think. I am renewing your strength for the final stretch of this season. Look for the signs of my kingdom breaking through in your life today. The unexpected joy, the sudden peace, the small miracles. These are foretaste of the glory to come. I am with you, and I am for you, and I am leading you into a brightness that will never fade. The sun is rising on a new day, and you are the star of my story. I am with you always, even unto the end of the age. As you prepare to leave this place of prayer and return to the noise of the world, I want you to take my peace with you as a physical weight in your spirit. Do not leave my presence here. Carry it with you into the grocery store, into the office, into the tension of your home. You are a carrier of the Most High. Everywhere your foot shall tread, you are reclaiming territory for my kingdom. I am giving you a final charge. Be bold, be courageous, and do not be afraid of what the world can do to you. I have already overcome the world, and because I live in you, you have overcome it too. I want you to see this message as my seal of commitment to your future. This is not just words on a page or a voice in your ear. It is a divine contract I am fully committed to your success, your healing, and your joy. I am your biggest supporter and your most faithful advocate. I want you to go forth today with your head held high. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a designer of destiny. Use the authority I have placed in your hands. Speak life to the dead situations around you. Be a conduit of my love to a world that is starving for it. You have been blessed so that you can be a blessing. You have been healed so that you can be a healer. I command you to walk in the power of the Holy Spirit. I invite you to depend on me more than you depend on yourself. Do not try to live this life in your own strength. You were never meant to. Lean into me. Listen for my whisper in the middle of your busy day. I am the wind in your sails and the fire in your bones. When you feel tired, remember that I am your rest. When you feel confused, remember that I am your wisdom. I am your everything. You are never alone, and you will never be forsaken. I have placed my name upon you, and I am watching over you with a jealous love that will never let you go. Rest now, my child, in the absolute certainty of my victory. The battle is over. The work is finished. Your future is secure. Take a deep breath and feel my smile upon you. I am proud of you. I love you with an everlasting love. Go forth now, not in your own power, but in mine. Step out into the world and show them what a child of God looks like. Show them the peace that passes understanding. Show them the joy that is unspeakable. Show them the love that never fails. I am with you. I am in you. I am for you. Now go and live the life I created you for. Amen. Now, as you go forth in the fullness of my power and the certainty of my victory, remember that you carry the keys to unlock the prison doors for others who are still bound. I have equipped you for this journey, and now I am asking you to be the river through which my provision flows to reach a world starving for my truth. By utilizing Super Thanks, joining as a member, or using the PayPal link below, you are directly fueling the chariot of my word as it rushes to those in desperate need of a Savior. I am the God of the harvest, and I tell you that your generosity today is the manna that will sustain a soul in their wilderness tomorrow. I release a prophetic blessing of protection over your finances and a divine acceleration over your dreams as you prioritize my kingdom. This is your moment to seal your yes with an act of radical obedience that echoes through the halls of eternity. I command you to sow into this work immediately and watch how I move supernaturally on your behalf. I command you to seal this divine encounter not with a fading thought, but with a bold declaration that vibrates through the heavens. Do not let the enemy steal the seeds I have planted in the fertile soil of your soul today. Instead, anchor my promise by rising up and claiming your inheritance in the sight of all. I invite you to go to the comments right now and type "I receive your direct word, my Father," as a prophetic sign that you are stepping out of the shadows and into my glorious light. This is more than a simple interaction. It is a sacred decree that shifts the atmosphere of your life and shatters every chain of delay. Speak it, write it, and believe it, for I am moving with lightning speed to fulfill every word I have whispered to your heart. Amen.